Good evening, guys. How are we doing? I hope you've had a good Sunday. Welcome to the Sunday stream. So, I've got a guest in tonight. Steady Eddie will be here a little bit later. He's just sent me a Facebook message. And let me just see if he's in the back. He's not there yet. Maybe about 15, 20 minutes. But good to have you all in. It's been another hot one today, hasn't it? I had to make a decision. I thought, do I break out the wife beater's vest, or should I come on a bit more presentable? And let's get this thing straight before we go any further. Bring out a t-shirt. I hope you guys can hear me okay. If there's any problem with the volume, let me know. All right, so let's start saying hello to everybody. I don't know how long we're going to be going tonight. I won't say those three words that I normally say because Ed will be on later. But right, Ivan, how you doing? D in Nissan, good to hear from you, D. Hi, Peter. Looking forward to seeing the stream when I wake up. Hope you have a great regular stream when you're in Thailand at local time. So I guess you're going to watch it, D, on the rerun. You'll be having me for breakfast as well. Right, not a very pretty thought, is it? Have Lady Boys will Mongo. Hi to you. Motel, lovely stuff. How you doing? I've got to be on the lookout tonight, guys. I've got to be honest with you. Both my moderators are on strike tonight. Well, they're not on strike. Franco's out of the country. He's gone to, I think he said he's gone to Italy. Franco does he drives an articulated lorry. Did I say that right? He drives a large lorry and he has all the band's equipment and lighting, and he goes all over Europe. He does a lot in the UK, but he flew out to Italy this morning. And Damien's mum's having a birthday today, so they're having a Chinese meal this evening. So they're both out of it. So hopefully, with Ed here and me, hopefully when Ed's doing his bit, I can keep my eye on here. But hopefully we won't have that crypto nutting again like we did on Friday. I know it's a bot, but you know what I mean. And talking to crypto nuts, hi, Crypto Chris, how you doing? You're not really a nut. No name. Well, Peter, you're my biggest fan and may go nuts over the thumb. Okay, great, thank you. Shinria, how you doing? Clash of the Titans, guys. Before I forget, I've got to tell you this, right? I mentioned this last Friday quite a bit. I've got one story coming out this Saturday. The upload's along the same sort of length, but if you like the stories, guys, don't miss it this Saturday. It's told from a girl who comes from East Ham when she was about 17, 18, up until when she was 40 plus. She gives a lot of details, best customers, the worst customers, things that happened to her in Pattaya. It's a real good story. And I'm guessing you might just shed a tear or two when you listen to it. That's next Saturday. The other change is I've decided now what I'm going to do. I'm going to, instead of waiting until Saturday morning to let the launch the stories, what I normally do, I'll come in whenever I feel like it, and I'll launch the Saturday story, which I've already prepared in the week. The problem with that is you don't know when it's coming and you can't really wait for it. So what I've decided to do, the results of the poll, I'm going to repeat this later on in the stream, but let me just put this up. I put a poll out and I said, look, do you want me to stick to doing 9 o'clock on a Friday, or shall I move it to 8? And I've given 3 options there. Well, basically it does not matter to me, as I'm always inebriated. That's basically, they don't care if it's 8, 9, 10, whatever. They're happy with any time. Well, if you look at the 2 above it, the 8 p.m. is one hands down. It's nearly double to the 21%. So, I like 9 p.m. as I now have a routine. That's got 21%. 8 p.m. would be better for me as it's not too late, 41%. So that's it, guys. That is the result. So next Friday and every Friday after that, the stream will go out from 8 p.m. And another decision I've made is, well, let me finish about the stories first. So what I'm going to do, instead of coming in Saturday morning, sometimes 10, sometimes 11, launching the stories, when I finish the stream on a Friday night, I'll launch the story immediately. The Saturday story, I'll launch it. I'll release it rather straight after the stream on a Friday. And that way, if we've got any diehards, because I'm only intended to do 2-hour streams now, guys. It was just getting ridiculous. I was doing 3, 4, and even 5 hours, and I was looking back on them streams, and I was slurring by the 3rd hour, and that's not good. That's not good. So I'm going to keep it to 2 hours, 8 till 10. Might go slightly longer occasionally if it's a real good one. And I'll release the story straight after the stream on the Fridays. So if you don't have to get up for work and you want some kind of entertainment, you can watch your stories and it's done and dusted. Okay. And commiserations for the guys who wanted to keep at 9, but I've got to go with obviously the whole point of a poll is to kind of see what the majority want. And as you've seen from that one, double the numbers of the people wanted at 8 p.m. as opposed to 9 p.m. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's carry on saying hi to everyone. I'm way behind again. Martin Bloodston, is it Martin? Yeah. Good evening, gentlemen. Are you both looking forward to your Thai trips? Yeah. Ed's out there in November. I'm out there in October. We'll have a talk about that when he comes in. He's not in the background yet, but he's probably getting his beers already in the fridge. Okay, Clive, how you doing? McLaren F1 race, good to see you in again. And Javier Lopez, how are you? Hi, friends. I hope everybody is doing well. The A team is in the house tonight. I don't know about the A team, but we're certainly going to be here. Beers on the ready. Ed Rye, I haven't seen you in. Sunday double manga special, yeah. D Rock 7977, how you doing? Let's call it Leeds. Hi to you. Who else we got? Donald Trump. Hi, Mr. Trump, Mr. President. How are you? Paul Shackleton. No, I don't think so. I'll put that one up there, Paul. No, I've got the beers, I've got the whiskey, and just in case you weren't in here for the Friday stream, okay, I'm not going to go on about it. Just really quickly, guys. If you contributed towards the GoPro, there it is. I've got it. GoPro 10. If you were one of those guys, it's in a cage at the moment because I put the microphone in there, you see, the external mic. That was £20 just for the bloody cage, piece of plastic. But yeah, if you're one of the guys who contributed, thanks for that, guys. I've got it now. Okay, who else? Real Rennie, is it? Hi, Peter and everybody. Greetings from Copacabana. Good to have you, mate. She had a hairy muff. I do like the hairy stuff. Yeah, okay. Christopher Doyle, I may have had a wee dram. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll be having plenty of wee drams later on tonight. Anders Virgin, hi. Danish Bacon, Super Streamer Sunday. Jeff Fried Rice, how you doing? David Halpin, good evening, Peter, from a sunny west of Ireland. It probably will. West, yeah, sunny, right? It's very hot here today. This week, if you're in the UK, the whole week we're looking at temperatures between 26 and 31 degrees the entire week right through. So next Friday, I might be breaking out the wife beating vest again because it's about 26 today, just about variable. I've got 2 fans on a low setting here. Next Friday, we'll see. Craig Mitchum, when you move into Thailand, Peter, or has things changed? No, I haven't changed. We're really hardcore now looking for a place for my wife. We looked at a few properties today online. The problem is they just go so fast because, you know, there's nothing coming on the market. And those few that do come on, they're just snapped up. You know, we see one come up. We call the estate agent. And there's one actually around the corner from where I live. Ideal. Would have been ideal. 3-bedroom, semi-detached, off-road parking within her budget. And it'd just be modernized inside. New kitchen, new bathroom, all spotlights in the ceiling, no work to be done, nice garden, and perfect. And it was up at 239 and somebody offered them 250. They just wanted it so badly they paid them 10,000 more than the asking price. But so in answer to your question, as soon as I've got a buyer for this place, hopefully we won't lose them. As soon as we find somewhere, then you know, off we go, as it were. And I can't wait, guys. I can't wait. I'm fed up with the UK. Really fed up with the UK. Really am. Yoz Travels. Hi, how you doing? Oh, double trouble for you tonight, Yoz. We've got your not countryman, a fellow Scouser in, Eddie. He'll be here soon. And Bernard Purcell, did I say hi to you? Hugh Jazz. Hello, everybody. Boohoo. I think I said hi to you. John Quell. Hi, Peter. Have to watch this one at a later date. 5 a.m. here in Brisbane, Australia. Off to work, I'm afraid. Bugger. Never mind, John. I always put the chats to replay anyway. Don't forget very often. Nomad's Land. Hello, Peter. What do you like the most in Thailand, and what do you like the less? People walk around with a smile on their face, don't they? What the worst thing about Thailand? I made a video about it. The worst thing about Thailand is actually leaving Thailand. That's the worst thing for me. It can be frustrating. I mean, it's not all. You know what it's like, guys, when you got to Thailand. If you're going to be a moaner and complain and compare it to your country, you shouldn't be going there in the first place because it's not perfect. But I find that's a lot of the charm of Thailand. I like things not working properly 100%. That's the charm of the place, isn't it? Right, Citizen Michael, thank you for that. Hi, Peter. Do you plan on making a lot of vlogs with your GoPro in Thailand? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really, I want to. One of the things. Hi, Black Bolt. Just say hi to you quickly. How you doing? Glad you found a buyer, Peter. Congratulations. Well. It's not in the bag yet, Black Bolt, but thank you anyway. Yeah, of course. The thing is, like I said on Friday, the thing with the GoPro, they're designed for action. You know, I mean, because it's a GoPro 10, it's got a completely new CPU inside it, which does get hot. So it's not ideal for this kind of environment because it's warm in here. And to keep this going for 2 hours, it would probably just explode. But, you know, to put it on a motorbike, I want to do some of those. I want to do some of those rides around Hua Hin, and then what I'll do, I'll ride round, and then I'll when I put the film, that's an old word, isn't it? When I put the what I've recorded online, I'll dub over it. You know, I'll just say, you know, I'll dub over it, and it should be quite interesting videos. But in answer to your question, Citizen Mikey, and thanks for the super chat. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'll carry on doing the stories because they're very popular, and carry on with the live streams. I'm going to have to try and work something out so it fits in with an English audience as well. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Windows open. Peter, I think you've blocked a couple of people accidentally. Well, don't forget, I don't generally block them because I've got two moderators in the background, so I'm only reading the text. It's only occasional that I see, occasionally I see bad comments. So if they're blocked, it might not have been me. But if you email me their usernames, I'll check because I can remember the people who are a bit naughty. But there's my email address. If there's anybody like you've got some friends and they're blocked, don't put it here because I won't notice it. You know, the chat comes so quickly. You email me, I'll check against I can check the blocked users' names, and if I've done it accidentally or somebody else has done, we'll just unblock them, and that's the end of that. I mean, the thing is, what you got to remember, guys, it's really impossible to answer everything you'll chat. And I had a guy on Friday. He was like, he was frustrated because he sent me a couple of chats. And I just missed them. I don't ignore them, but he left. Now I did block him because he left a message and he said, "Oh, you're ignoring me. I've sent you a load of comments and you're ignoring me." And then he put underneath it, "Guys, check out Buzz in Pattaya. It's a much better channel." And I thought, that's out of order. You know, you don't write things like that. So, like I say, if I miss it and you want me to read it out, just write it again. That's the best thing. There we are. Garden Hedge. Have you changed your? I think you've changed your username. It used to be Hedge Fund, didn't you? Thanks for that. Anyway, I see you on Ed's stream quite a bit. Zeke Manitz, how are you doing? Oh, you're saying hi to Black Bolt. Right, how many we got in now? Over 300 in now. So hopefully Ed will turn up in a bit. Zig, is it Zigger T? Hey Peter, finally time has come. Flying through Dubai to Phuket tomorrow. Okay, that's good. That's good. You'll have a good time. I might, when I live there, I'm gonna start popping down to Phuket. Somebody asked me a while ago, how come you never speak about Phuket? It's just the logistics of it, guys. You know, I mean, you've got to either fly down there or you do an 18-hour bus ride. And, you know, if you go to Pattaya or Hua Hin or somewhere like that, it's a couple of hours. It's a lot easier, isn't it? Crypto Rocketeer. Hi, Peter. Got my beers ready, waiting for the stream. Okay, that must be quite an old message because we're here now. Let's go down a bit. Let's have a look. Nick T. Let's have a look. 239,000 for a 3-bedroom. Be a studio flat down. Yeah, I know. There's I met a guy a couple of years ago, and he was living in a village close by here, and the name of his house was the Old Rectory. I wouldn't like to say that when I had a few beers, but what it was in this lovely village across from a typical village green, and it 6 bedrooms. He had his own land, horses at the back, and everything. And he said to me, you know, when I lived in London, I had a 1-bedroom flat. You couldn't swing your cat around. He said, I sold that. I bought this place, which is beautiful. It's roomy, great for the kids. And, you know, he managed to get enough money from the sale of that apartment just to get this place. I think it was called the Old Vicarage, actually. And a beautiful house. But yeah, depending on where you live. And if you go further north, of course, then prices are a bit cheaper. Right. Where's that handsome man? He was there. He's disappeared now. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Who else? Let's get it on. Good evening. DWP, what you say? We live. Yeah. Oh, that's an awful picture. Christ, you don't want to look at that when you have your dinner. Paul Shackleton, Peter, when are you in Thailand? It would be great if you did a stream that aired around 7 a.m. UK time. Good morning, Mongers. I'd probably miss most of them because I'm guessing a lot of guys here are retired and kind of don't get up too early. Let's have a look. A few more comments. Let's have a look. Cashier, hi, good to have you in. I want to see an 18-hour stream on the bus down to Phuket. Christ, that'd be boring, wouldn't it? Charles Sanders, hi, over 300 in and less than 30 thumbs up. Yeah, come on, you miserable buggers. Give us a few thumbs up. We don't normally do jokes on a Sunday, but Neil sent me this. It's really short, and I thought it was really funny. Let me just read this out to you. Neil, if you're out there, thanks for this. It says, and this is based in a Thailand hospital, Bangkok hospital, right? It says, I went for a testicle checkup last week. The little Thai nurse cupped my testicles and said, don't worry, it's quite normal to get an erection during this procedure. I said, I haven't got an erection. She said, no, but I have. Boom, boom. Right. Okay. Thank you, Neil, for that. Right. I can see Eddie's there. Let's bring Eddie in because I haven't got anything prepared. There's no ladyboy competitions and nothing tonight. Let me just make sure I've got nothing else to tell you about. No, there's no Mongo Minute. There's nothing tonight. Right. I will mention the change of time on the stream again. Let's get that handsome man in. Where is he? There he is.
Okay. Good evening, Peter. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm watching you on a nightly basis now. You seem to be streaming nightly. It's like the Ed Sweeney nightly stream. How are you doing?
Well, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Not too bad. Looking forward to my travel in November. It's all going well. It's all going well.
It is a lot better now, isn't it? I mean, we've got no Thailand pass. There's no, it's all gone virtually. The only thing that's a bit annoying now is the the mandatory mask wearing. But I think in Pattaya, when you were there, nobody was wearing them, were they?
Well, when I was, a lot of people were wearing it. You still had to have them, underneath your chin, like just in case the busies, come along and start questioning you. You know what I mean? Peter, don't underestimate the early this year. I was in Thailand for 4 months early this year, and I know you were at the beginning of the year. You cannot underestimate how truly dreadful it was with the stories of people being bloody dragged off to hospital, testing positive at the wrong place and all of that. So it was truly dreadful. Let's hope it's all behind us now. Let's hope it's all behind.
Without going over old ground, I mean, I tested positive. I was there in the thick of it in December when it was. I mean, December was the most hardcore you can imagine going to Thailand, and it was it wasn't depressing, but everything was closed. It was, I was about to get on the plane. I caught COVID. Somebody left a comment on one of your streams that said, "What do you think about Thailand-bound doing a runner from the hotel?" I don't know if you remember that.
I didn't catch it, but I know you mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just say hi to Michael. Michael Whittaker. Hello, Peter. Greetings from sunny California. Good to see you doing well. Thank you, Michael. It's actually quite a special night tonight because I think, let me just check something. Right, I'm not going to say anything about that right now. I'll tell you later. Right, let's have a look. What else? When are you off? You're off at the beginning of November, aren't you?
I'm off at the beginning of November. I'm off at the beginning of November. I have a 4-month ticket with a very, very good airline. Right, now, without revealing which airline it is, we're not out the woods yet because there's a certain conflict going on in Southeast Asia right now, and let's just hope that it doesn't escalate. Let's hope it does. I mean, we're never out the woods. Listen, in this day and age, we're all on a wing and a prayer. You never know what's going to happen next. I mean, you can only hope it's like old times have returned, where you can go to a country without a problem, and then get another flight to a neighboring country. Let's hope the good times return. We're not out the woods yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And Damon, he comes onto your channel quite often. Yeah, he comes onto mine. He supports quite a few channels. He likes your channel of mine. Well, he's actually I speak to him on the phone, and he's flying out to Thailand this Friday for the first time in 2 years. And he's actually quite frightened because he's going out on Eva Air. And like you've just said, you don't know what's coming up in the next few days, next week. Yeah, I mean, I've said to him, look, don't worry about it. You'll probably be fine. But, he's a nervous flyer anyway. But had he been on Thai Airways, I'm sure he would have felt a lot more easier than I think if I was on Eva Airways to go out this week. I'd be very nervous.
Because it is Taiwanese.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a Taiwanese airline. That's the thing. That's the important thing to remember. Yeah. So let's hope let's hope nothing really bad comes of it. You know what I mean?
Somebody caught me out on Friday. I don't know how I fell for this, but we were talking about the price of air tickets, and somebody left a comment and said, "Oh, I've just got a return ticket on Pan Am for £495." I said, "Oh, that's a good price." And I thought about it the next day, and I thought, "Hang on a minute, Pan Am went out of business in the 70s, didn't they, or the 80s, something like that?"
Pan Am. Jesus, that's when I first heard of airplanes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I just didn't catch on. I just read the comment and just took it at face value. I felt all right. Idiot though. Right, let's say hi to a few people who've just come in. Is that how do I pronounce that? Do you know how to pronounce that, Ed? Wheelstone Raider. I'm on standby for a deployment to ROC. Okay. Gordon Bennett, Neil the Busies, the old Bill Coppers, the filter pit. Oh, here we go. We've only been on 5 minutes. I haven't got. Do you remember I was telling you the other day, Ed? I've got 2 moderators. They're both not here tonight because Damon's one of them, and it's his mother's birthday, so he's having a Chinese meal with her, so he's not moderating. And Franco, the other one, he's gone to Italy this morning because he drives a big lorry and he takes all these bands, lighting and equipment. So he's not there tonight. So with, because I know you get a lot of these guys in, and so do I. So the both of us together, it could be quite a night, you know. Right, Carletto, you're ready to hit 40,000 subscribers when 2 years ago you were thinking about shutting down, but you hung on in there. Congratulations, Peter. Well, that was going to be my announcement, but I'm actually disappointed because I was 4 away from 40,000. I'm actually, right now, I keep going like 95, 96, and back down to 93, 94, 95. And, you know, and you get there, and you think, I only need 4 more, then you get 3 go. So I'm sure it will happen tonight. By tomorrow.
I was thinking that, you know, I could congratulate on 40,000 subs. This would have been your night. But listen, Peter, you've done brilliantly. I mean, in the last couple of years, you've done absolutely amazing. You've got an amazing, and I'm thrilled for you. I'm thrilled for you.
Thanks, Ed.
You'll probably go ahead of me and just about everyone else, given a bit of time.
Well, you know, now it's not a competition, is it? I mean, the thing is, I remember Trevor on Buzzing Pattaya. When I first came across him, I had 23,000 subscribers and he had 17,000. So I was way ahead of him. And he's now, his legitimate subscribers are about 53,000. YouTube accidentally gave him 30,000 subscribers by accident. I think they've since taken 10 back. But it happens. There's another Australian guy. He was on like 10,000 when I was on 25,000. And he's level necking with me. So, I mean, I suppose it just depends, you know, what you're doing at the time. You remind me now that
I think it's all about viewing figures as well. I mean, you've been around a lot, you know, a couple of years less than I have, and so your you know, subscribers are probably very, very fresh. Some of us who've been a channel that's been around for a long time. Don't forget, a lot of those subscribers may not be around anymore. They may have subscribed many years ago. So they probably some of them may even be dead. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, when I get back out to my viewing figures for Romania, obviously that's not what my channel is all about, but I wanted to do it anyway. But when I get back out to Thailand, you know, I'm ambitious. You know, there's something about Thailand. As soon as you get there, you know, it makes you a bit more ambitious. So I'm wanting to get my numbers back up again anyway. But no, I think, you know, 40,000, you've done brilliantly. You know, full credit to you anyway.
Yeah, cheers, Ed. I mean, I told you a long time ago, one of the people who motivated me to actually get started on YouTube was you, because you'd been going, blimey, you'd been going for a year or so, and I was watching your early streams back then, and you know, I thought, well, if he can do it, no disrespect to you, but you know, I don't know if we're about the same age, but I thought, well, if he can do it, I'll give it a go, and I'm actually really surprised because most of it's been from the UK, you know, not in Thailand. So, you know, yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, one of the things I want to mention, Pete, I mean, live streams are really, people who go into YouTube want to make videos. I came into YouTube because I wanted to make videos. But live streams, there's still something that a lot of people feel very, very wary of. I got StreamYards less than a year ago, and I thought it'd be nice to get some guests on and all that. Now, I'm Facebook friends with some vloggers, and some of them are very, very good vloggers, and they're experienced. You know, they have experienced YouTube channels and all that. The fact is, as soon as you mention live streams to them, oh no, couldn't do that. A lot of people are afraid of live streams.
I know, yeah.
They really, really are. And I shouldn't say this really, but you know, in terms of live streams, there's actually not a lot of them around. You know, not decent ones. Anyway, I mean, you've got a great great live stream.
Check on
another channel. I mean, well, let me just tell you something. I mean, the other night, a lot of those live streams that are going around, the Thai vloggers have lost a bloody plot, and they're all bitching at each other. No, I don't want any part of that. The other night, late at night, I thought, what's happening? I don't want to be watching same old, same old. Wouldn't it be nice to find a brand new live stream, not necessarily connected to the Thai vlogging community? You know, something I can watch very, very late at night, and I may even drop a comment on there, whatever. A brand new, fresh live stream. So I tried to scan through YouTube, the live section, and I looked at everything that they have to offer. And, you know, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't really. I mean, the live streams tended to be, you know, a camera in New York, you know, a camera film in New York at night. Or there was also another one, there's quite a few of them where Black American people swearing at each other, and I don't mean that in, you know, racist sort of way, but I can't get involved in that. I can't relate to any of that. I mean, the live stream, there's actually a lot of people who may be good at vlogging, who may be good at making videos, but they're a bit wary of live streams, you see. So yeah. I don't know. You know, you're obviously very, very good at your live stream, so there's not that much competition around, really.
I don't think that it's that I'm so good at live streams. I think what it is, the difference with me is because I'm like you now. I've stopped work. I used to have that little job where I took children to school in a minibus. You know, they were not disabled; they were disadvantages. It was only 2 hours a day. I've now knocked that on the head. But my wife works full time, so I'm at home most of the time. I'm not in Thailand. You know, I'm moving out full time. But with the live streams, I like to prepare them, put a lot of effort into the preparation. So, you know, you've got the Ladyboy competition, the Spot the Thai Girl, the Manga Minute, the Joke of the Week, because it just breaks up somebody just sitting there talking, doesn't it? But some people aren't good at sitting there talking, you know. And I'll tell you what else I found about live streams. When you're right. I mean, some people are really nervous to do live streams. But one thing I've noticed, when I first started doing live streams, I only spoke about Thailand, nothing else. But I found since then, you don't have to concentrate just on Thailand. I mean, that's your main basis. But, you know, you've watched me. I've watched you where you start talking. Have you got a bit of feedback coming? I don't know if it's from me or you. An echo coming back. Is that me or you?
No, I can hear you quite well. Not a problem.
I've just turned my speakers off. I've just turned my speakers away from myself because sometimes you get feedback from your own speakers. I forgot what we were talking about now. What was I saying there? Terrible. I think I'm getting dementia.
People getting nervous with live streams and all of that kind of stuff, yeah?
Yeah, but something you said a long time ago, which I do agree with. You don't get new subscribers from live streams. You know, live streams are a kind of get-together for people who are already subscribed. You know, you can talk about anything. I've spoken about old TV programs, old movies, you know, everything and everything. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to just concentrate 100% on Thailand. Do you find that?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the big debate is whether live streams and your main channel with videos, whether live streams and videos really go together. I'm not so sure. And this is why I'm sure you won't mind me mentioning, but I have another Steady Eddie Live channel, which you don't have mentioned. And the thing about that is that is not necessarily a travel channel. Remember, travel is travel is one subject, and sooner or later you get tired about talking about travel. I mean, at this moment in time, there's not really a great deal to talk about. Not really.
There isn't.
Are you feeling an echo there or something, Peter?
Pardon?
Can you hear an echo there or something?
No, I did it before, but not now. I think what it is, if you turn your speakers away from yourself, because what happens, your microphone picks up your speakers. So what I do on a live stream, I always turn the speakers away from me, and I don't have the problem.
Yeah. But okay. But like I say, I mean, the debate is about whether live streams and videos go together, which is why I started this other channel. And this other channel, there's no pressure. It's only a little channel, but we can talk about anything, absolutely anything. Because like I said to you a moment ago, the other night I was in the mood for a bloody good live stream, and there was just nothing around other than the usual people. You know what I mean?
What time of night was that?
You know, I'm talking about beyond midnight. So beyond midnight is like early evening or maybe late afternoon in America. And if I would have found I would like to find a live stream which doesn't involve celebrities, isn't a camera placed on top of a building filming some people walking past. So, you know, a live stream that's stimulating and, you know, you can get into and maybe drop a few chats, something that's a bit funny. And I looked and looked and looked and looked, and there was absolutely nothing around. The fact is, there is not really a great deal of live streams around. Not really. I mean, I haven't found them. I mean, the ones that I watch or I have been watching, I'm getting a bit tired. To be honest with you, Peter, I'm getting a bit tired of all the bloody bitching and all the negativity. I mean, my channel, I came into YouTube because I wanted to do travel. I wanted to do, you know, it's a travel channel, and I want to make videos. The ideas of a bunch of guys, you know, sitting around getting drunk and being abusive towards it, I don't want to see that. I've had enough of all of that, really.
No, you know? when I went over in December, I wasn't going to do any filming in Pattaya because there's so many people down there doing it, and people said to me, look, you need to do some films from Pattaya, because even though there's a lot of people down there, you haven't done it. And I hadn't spent much time in Thailand, but I put out in sort of, I was there 5 weeks, but let's just say 4, because I was banged up for a week. I put out 15 videos from Thailand. I mean, that's quite hardcore, really, for 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Peter, you are diligent. You are very, very hard work. And I mean, I see the pace that you. I couldn't keep it. I couldn't keep out that pace. It is hard work at the end of the day, and you're banging those videos out, and that's what really, really matters, isn't it? At the end of the day, you've got to get them out there, really.
Here's a question for you here. I'll let you answer this one, Eddie, if I can find it. Yeah, I'll put it up on screen from Simon Mays.
What is a manga? Right now, to be honest with you. I absolutely, mean this. I had actually never heard the word manga until I started making YouTube videos, and somebody called me one. I mean, somebody called me. I made a couple of videos. I made them from home, basically, but they're about my Cambodian travels, and basically, they were basically about the subject of, ladies in Cambodia, and they sort of went viral, these videos, and I got stigmatized with manga. And what the hell's that? I never even heard this word before. Apparently, a manga is somebody who likes to go, go with the ladies in Thailand or Cambodia and whatever. So it's not that, but it's just a manga is someone who likes to have the fun with the ladies. I'd never heard this word before, but I wasn't bothered about it. I'm sure I've been called far worse than that.
There's a good question here. I know you have seen it, but I just want to, because you're on here now, what you thought of it.
Martin, I have seen it. Bloody good. Wasn't
it funny?
I particularly like this touch here. well, times are hard, aren't they? You can't.
And I did a close up of that. Nice wrist action, Mr. D. But I thought he did you. I thought he took you really well. Did you ever see that guy who brought out a channel? Oh, he's been taken down now. I put in a copyright claim for him. Some other people did, because he was very, very negative. He was very skilled, but he did want a view. And his channel was called I forget the name of his channel, but it was called Taking the Piss Out of Thailand YouTubers. And he put a clip of you. I don't know if you've seen it. And he'd talk over it like it was you. But he was very good at impersonations. And if he'd done it the right way, if he'd sort of done impersonations of YouTubers, people would have thought that's funny and left it there. But he just took the piss so much that he did one of me. I'll give you an example. Look, hands up. It was funny, but when I caught COVID, I made a short clip, and I said the clips went something like this. I said, "Well, guys, here I am. I'm in the hotel room. I can't do anything about it because I caught COVID. I've got to stay here for a week." So he took that clip and he dubbed over the top of it, and it sounded just like me. It was funny, but he said, "Well, guys, I can't go. I've got the clap. It's my own fault for riding the ladyboy bareback." And it was funny, but he just went too far. Did you see him or not?
I think it was called Thailand Savage.
That was it. That was it. Yeah.
I did see, but he was very, very offensive. There's another vlog. I won't mention name, but he's been around for years. He does videos around Pattaya, and you have to complain about a guy like this, because if it was just me, if some of these, saying, funny, as long as it's funny, if someone's saying derogatory things about me, I don't mind as long as it's funny. But this particular vlogger, what he was doing, he was going around a well-known bar in Pattaya, and there were other people, maybe friends of his or customers, who were getting involved, and this person was calling them the most heinous names. And maybe the vlogger thought, I don't mind people having a go at me and having a laugh with me, but these people are good enough to appear in my video. I can't have them being called these nasty names. So it was quite right. He did go too far. I
know who I won't mention him. I don't want to give him any sort of publicity here. And it's not the guy we've been speaking about recently, but it's another guy who's just changed his channel name. Am I right?
No, I'm not talking. No. This the guy I'm talking about is being. He was a victim of this Thailand Savage. But what this Thailand Savage, it's okay having a joke, but this guy went too far with slagging down this. He overdubbed, and made out that he was saying all kinds of. I don't want to go into details, but he went too far, that Thailand Savage. So it's quite right to get his channel taken down.
So a couple of guys there, like Chris has just mentioned, a couple of other guys have mentioned Kevin Thailand. He was one of the originals. Do you remember him? He used to start his streams, his videos would be like, "Hello, people," and he had this perfect set of pearly white teeth. I think he bought while he was in Pattaya, but he passed on, unfortunately. But he was one of the originals.
He was very, very good. I mean, he was very, very informative, and he gave a lot of people loved him because he gave he gave the kind of information and that you would need to know if you were a newbie going to Thailand. He was very, very informative, and also I got the feeling that he was, with his information, he was very, very down to earth as well. He'd tell it like it is, and that's a very, very important thing. He wouldn't sugarcoat it over. He would tell like it. So yeah, very, very sad what happened to Kevin Thailand. It horrible to think, but it could happen to any of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. When you go out, I know when you go out in November to Thailand, you're going out for about 3 months, aren't you?
4 months.
4 months. Okay, so I'm guessing this time, because you're more of a traveler than I am. I tend to go out to Thailand and it's just Thailand, but I will explore a lot more. When I was there last time, I did Hua Hin, Chatham, Bangkok. But I'm guessing you're going to be traveling to sort of Siem Reap and these sort of places. Are you? Vietnam, maybe?
I want the old times to return, Peter. I want the old times. I mean, in the olden days, I'd get several months return ticket to Bangkok. I'd stay in Pattaya for a couple of weeks, and then I'd go from Pattaya to Siem Reap and Phnom Penh. I'd border hop. I've been across that border, that land border, many, many times. And I want the old times to return, Peter. When you don't have to have these bloody things shoved up your nose and all of this. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to seeing Siem Reap and Phnom Penh. And
I mean, when you went the last time, the trip you've just come back from a while ago, what were the restrictions then? Was it just a Thailand pass and masks?
Well, I was in Thailand for 4 months. And the reason I wanted to go to Cambodia, but they cancelled my flight. But because of those PCR tests, and people tend to, I'd be safer just staying in Thailand. Now, when I arrived there early January, it was very, very doom and gloom, very, very doom and gloom. Even at the airport, it was bloody doom and gloom. But the restrictions gradually eased. And by the time I left there, beginning of May, it was totally different. I left there without a problem, without any tests or anything.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it must be getting a lot better now. Like I say, when I was there in December, it was full on COVID. I mean, when I come through the airport, I had to sit on a blue plastic chair. When I come off the airplane, I had people coming around pointing these heat guns at me, checking my paperwork. And then when I got through that bit, they put a sticker on me, and they told me to sit in almost like a cow grid place, And then my driver came, he picked me up. There was a Chinese girl who was traveling with me, English Chinese, not with me. We were just both on the same flight, and we went together. And they drove us to the hospital. The door opened. It was a sealed van. They came out in the full gear and stuck this thing up my nose. And then it was round to the Holiday Inn, through the car park basement, like we were kind of almost got the plague, And then you were sat up there in that room waiting for the news. Once they said you're negative, come Peter, you're negative. Once they told me that, I was straight down to Soy 4 with a cold beer, and I sat there and I thought, was it worth it? And I thought, yes, it was worth it. Did you feel like that when you went through everything?
I mean, it took a long while I felt easier when I left Pattaya and started going other places. I felt a little bit better there. I felt a little bit better when I went to the islands, Koh Tao, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan. Very, very easy, but it was not a good time in Pattaya. And for the first couple of weeks when I was in Pattaya, I wanted to stay away from people, because that onion variant was running running rampant. And the thing is, a lot of people were quite reckless. They were getting drunk and they were hugging you and kissing you. And I'm going, people are getting this onion variant. Just use a bit of common sense. I mean, I'd be in a bar. I know this sounds like I'm really, really dull, but I wanted to protect myself. I'd be in a bar. I found a nice little bar close to the hotel I was staying, and I'd go in there with a mask, and be sitting at the bar, and someone would recognize me, and and come, come up to me, arms out, and actually back, and it's crazy. It was a crazy situation. It was a crazy situation. But I met lots and lots of people who either tested positive and had to stay in one of those awful scam hospitals, or their friend had tested positive. It was just not a good experience, and hopefully it's all a thing of the past now, really.
I'll tell you something that actually wound me up quite a bit. You know what you were saying just then about people hugging each other and being a little bit, what was the word you used?
Exuberant and,
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you something that wound me up a little bit. When I was coming home, most of the, I don't know why, but most of the outlets in the airport were closed. All the restaurants, everything was closed. Yeah. But there was one kind of cafe that sold beer by the bottle. It was like a sandwich coffee shop, but they did sell bottles of beer. Quite a long queue, so I bought a couple of them, and I managed to get a seat next to this guy who just left Pattaya. He was going back, and I was talking to him how long he'd been out there, the normal sort of thing when you meet people in the airport. And he's 70, this guy, but quite fit. And I said to him, I said, yeah, I was unfortunate. I caught COVID. I was supposed to go back last 2 weeks ago, and I told him my story. And he says, yeah, I was in Pattaya. I caught it. He said, I caught it on my second down. I said, oh dear. Which hospital were you in? And he said, I just didn't bother. He said, I just went out as normal. And I thought, that was really bad. I mean, to know that you've got it and just go out, and I didn't say anything to the guy, but I remember thinking, a bit selfish, maybe.
Yeah. I encountered a beautiful massage girl. And this is when I am just about everyone else. I was really paranoid about the virus. A beautiful massage girl. And she sort of welcomed me in. I said, do you have to wear a mask and all that? And she smirked at that. She said, why, you scared? The thing is, I would imagine those massage guys, they probably already had the virus and were immune to it by now. But okay, we won't go into any more detail about that.
No, it's quite depressing, all that stuff, isn't it? All the Thailand pass and all that. I'm glad it's gone. Yeah. But I still remember when you bought your first ticket, you said, I'm taking a chance, I'm going in November. And that wasn't last November, that was a November before. Did you ever, I know they credited you and you were, you wanted your money back. Did you ever get that money back?
I didn't actually. I didn't get. It was about 500 quid or so. For once, the credit card company let me down. Usually, I would recommend the credit card company, and I would say, because they will get your money back. They palmed me off with a voucher, and the thing is, I got in touch with the credit card company. I said, listen, they've cancelled my flight. I want my money back. They palmed me off with this voucher, which I didn't ask for. And the credit card company surprised me then. He said, well, you got a voucher. I mean, a lot of people didn't get anything. I thought, what kind of
that's kind of that's the airline being very clever, because that's premeditated, because they know who's paid with a credit card, and they know it's so easy for you to charge back your credit card. But there's probably a loophole, like in the contract, that if they give you something to the value of that ticket, then the credit card company can't give you your money back, and that's probably why they gave you the voucher. But like you said, it's a bit of a con, really, isn't it?
It was very, very frustrating and very time wasting and very laborious. And I just ended up writing up. A lot of people lost money then. A lot of people lost money on flight. We've been through a dreadful time the last couple of years, and it was really, really. You just have to write it off. I mean, it was just too time consuming. But
I'll just answer that question from Dutch Farang. I thought everybody knew the answer to this one, but you're saying, what about you switching hotels, Peter? Well, that was something that was quite unfortunate. I didn't actually do a runner like some people said, because I was in the Majestic Suites around the corner from Soi 4, and I tested positive for COVID, and I thought they'd come and pick me up in an ambulance and take me away, and I packed my bags and everything. Nothing happened. I rang the hospital, couldn't get through to anyone. Phoned my friend Simon, his Thai wife called the hospital, couldn't get through. And then the hotel I was staying there, he said, well, you can't. I said, well, I'm going to have to stay here another week. And they said, well, you can't stay here because we haven't got any facilities. And I said, well, look, the hotel isn't getting back to me. I don't know what to do. So they said, well, give us the paperwork you got. We'll call the hospital. And the whole day went by, and I called reception. I said, I haven't heard anything. You were going to call. She said, yeah, they don't seem to be interested. They're just kind of. I said, well, what did they say? And they said, well, nothing really. They just, because the original message they gave me, they said, stay in your room. And I was being honest. I thought, well, what do I do? And the hotel was saying, well, you can't stay here. So in the end, nice girl on reception. I said to the girl, I said, look, what would you do? I said, the hospital aren't coming for me, right? That's obvious. You don't want me here. I said, what would you do if I just packed my bag, put my mask on and I left? She said, nothing. I said, oh, you're not going to call somebody? She says, no. So I thought, right, okay. So I didn't want to infect a taxi driver or anything like that. So I packed my bag and I walked round to Soy 8, checked into a hotel with a mask on, and I stayed in the room. I was very responsible. My friend Simon brought me all bits and pieces and had them hung on my door by his motorbike driver. And that was it. And I thought I did the responsible thing. I don't know what else I could have done, because I tried to get the hospital to pick me up. I tried to stay in the same hotel, but I had to make a decision. And the only decision I could make was, well, don't get in a taxi, walk round to another hotel, and just keep your mask on, stand back when you check in, and just don't come out of the room. And that's what I did.
Yeah, that sounds reasonably enough. Enough.
But people, you know what people are like. I did a runner and all the rest of it. Right? How's your shoulder, Eddie? What's that all about?
Oh my God! Oh my God! Almighty! I mean, when you get to a certain age, do you ever find like aches and pains, just even bruises just appear out of nowhere? This was about 2 weeks ago. I was doing a live stream on a Monday night, a couple of weeks ago, and what happened early on in the evening? I had a kip, for a couple of hours, as I often do. And I woke up about 8 o'clock or so, and I had a bit of a pain in my right shoulder. That's quite usual for me. That's nothing unusual at all. But usually it goes after a while. But it didn't go. And during the live stream, it just got worse and worse. And my old right arm just froze up. And I thought, Jesus, this is dreadful. I just had to wrap things up because I was in so much pain. And basically, a friend of mine was watching a live stream, and he came around late at night and brought some tablets around for Biofem or whatever they're called. And I rested, but it was quite scary, really. I thought what I'd done is I'd pulled a muscle in my sleep. That has happened before. You can do that. I'd done that once before. You can actually just turn over in bed and pull a muscle. And it's very, very painful, but it's cleared up now anyway. So windows open. Thanks for asking anyway.
I'm like you. I get very paranoid as well because I'm 62. Sometimes I'll get a shooting pain across my chest. I think, oh, I'm going to have a heart attack, and then nothing happens for a month. I've just had a full checkup. I did the poop on a stick. I did all the blood, the kidneys, the liver, and all the rest of it. Everything seems to be working normal. But the older you get, the more paranoid you get. Okay, what's Paul Hoskins saying? I get a sore thumb and finger all the time. Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's terrible. He's terrible jokes, right? Scott G, you need a good Thai massage, Eddie, to sort your shoulder. I'm sure you had a few decent Thai massages when you're there, didn't you, Ed?
Oh yeah, I had a few excellent massages. That's a nice way of phrasing it. Excellent massages, Thai massage. They do it best, absolutely.
Yeah, Mac Thai says I was in Phuket and Pattaya at Easter and nobody was wearing masks. Well, they kind of do wear them, but they wear them low, don't they? Just in case the cops are there and they have to.
Well, that's what I do. Yeah, that's what I found. Have you been to Phuket, Peter?
I have been to Phuket, but it was many years ago. I stayed in the CNN hotel near, I think it's Bangla Road, budget hotel. But yeah, I have been there a couple of times.
I went there many years ago, and I loved it. I loved Patong Beach. It was before they had that tsunami. It was really lovely stuff. But during the last journey, I was doing, my plan was to eventually go to Phuket. And I heard far more negative reports about it than positive ones. A lot of people said, don't bother, really. You're just better staying in Pattaya, really. So I thought I'd give it a minute. And also the fact that I'd actually done a total of 4 islands during my last trip. Koh Chang, Koh Samui, Koh Phangan, Koh Tao. So I really didn't see the reason to do another one. So I gave it a miss.
Here's a question for you, Ed. This is from me, right? So I know you're not planning to retire to go to Thailand to retire at the moment, but a hypothetical question: if you were this year planning to sell up sticks and move to Thailand, where do you think you'd end up living full time? Would it be Pattaya, or is that a bit too much for you?
To be honest with you, Peter, I actually discussed this on a live stream on my main channel the other night. And it's really, I think, a really great little place to retire would be Siam Reap. I do like Siam Reap. It's a very, very pleasant town. And there's some places you would want to holiday and have a great time. And there's other places, you'd rather retire and live there. And Siam Reap is a great little town, very, very likable, great bars, great restaurants, very nice, pleasant little town. Also, the location of Siam Reap is very good. You've got Phnom Penh, which is about 6 hours by road. Pattaya is only about 9 hours. It includes the border crossing, but Pattaya is about 9 hours by road. So, I think somewhere like Siam Reap would be a good bet, to be honest with you.
And that, yeah, I haven't actually visited Siam Reap. I've been to the capital, which I can't pronounce that you just did. Yeah, I watched a few of your videos, but you were having a meal in a place called was it the Red Piano?
Oh yeah, the Red Piano. Yeah.
You know, I do watch quite a lot of your live stream stuff. As you know, I tend to get a little bit drunk, but you actually, I don't know if it was you actually blocked me on one of your streams because it's getting really bad, isn't it? Ed blocked me. He blocked me on his stream. What it was, somebody came in and they I mean, I've had them on here, on here, but I know it's not you. But I think that guy was convincing because I tried to leave a comment one night and I thought he's blocked me. Right. Paul Shackleton, for a man in his early 40s, Ed is too drunk to think about retirement. How old are you? You're not in your early 40s, are you?
I'm 60.
Yeah, I thought you were close to my age.
To be honest with you, Peter, I dug out an old picture and put it on Facebook the other day of me in Vietnam when I was 40 years old. And I looked about a quarter of the age that I am now. I mean, how the hell? I look quite youthful for a 40-year-old then. Now I'm 60 and I hardly recognize myself, to be honest with you. But I'm 60 now.
Once you start aging, it comes really fast, doesn't it? Because I don't think you're a particular fan of Hua Hin, are you? Like I am.
I like Hua Hin. It's a very, very it's a nice town. It doesn't quite do it for me. Maybe ever seen more of it. But I spent a fair bit of time there early this year. It's a lovely town, nice beach and all that. It seems to be a place to retire and raise a family, and I've got no plans to do that just yet. It's very, very nice town, but it's not really for me. Doesn't really do for me personally.
That's quite a good idea there. I'll come back to you on that, Ed. Dutch Frank says, Peter and Eddie, if you give yourself each other a mod, there won't be any fakers. That's true, because when you're if you leave a comment on my channel and you're one of my mods, there'll be a green spanner next to you. And vice versa. So if you get a Thailand bound comes in and there's no green spanner, it's not me.
Yeah,
good idea.
I like, to be honest with you, there's only one live stream I do where I have to be careful, and that's on my main channel, because obviously I've worked hard for that one over the years, so I've got to be careful on that one on a Wednesday. But the other the Steady Eddie live channel, I don't really worry too much about that. It's basically like a free for all. Having said that, I have had a couple of a couple of live streams recently demonetized on that channel. I don't know why. I don't know what I've done wrong, but maybe I've been, too liberal with people coming up with vulgar comments and putting them on the screen and all that. But I don't worry about that channel so much. I really don't worry about it. It's.
I'll tell you why I'm laughing, because I just found something really quick. Because you were telling me when you were 40, you looked quarter of the age. Now, look at this. If you want to have a smile on your face, have a look at this. Who do you think that is?
That's you when you were 15.
It's not very good quality, I know, but it was, I think it was about 30 in that one. But I'm blushing now. Blushing. So, no, the thing about Hua Hin, I think, if you're looking to go to go-go bars every night and party all the time, then, it's a bit quiet for that. But, most of the people who live in Hua Hin, they don't, they go out and there's enough bars, I think, in Hua Hin. There's some good restaurants, some malls, there's, like you say, some beaches. But, if you want a wild night, you can always go up to Bangkok for a week, can't you? It's a bus ride away.
Yeah, absolutely. Hua Hin is a bit of a trek, really, though, isn't it? Think about Pattaya. It's only like 1.5 hours away from Bangkok. Hua Hin is a bit more of a trek, really, isn't it? It's a bit more than that. It's don't get me wrong, it's a nice town, but there's some places you would want to live, and some places you would rather party. And I think Siam Reap's very, very cheap. I know things can change, but Siam Reap is very, very cheap. There's a lot of young people there, but you avoid them, and I just think Siam Reap will be a nice place to live, basically.
And what about the visa situation? How do you get on with? Is it similar to Thailand for getting visas and stuff, or?
Yeah, they're all changing. But apparently, with Cambodia, people are saying it's the easiest country in that region to retire in nowadays. I'm not so sure about that because things are changing all the time. Apparently, you can go to Cambodia on a tourist visa and then renew a yearly visa, a business visa, indefinitely each year. But I'm not sure that's going to go on forever. I think that will change. So if you're going to retire, obviously you've got to think very, very carefully about visas and all that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you what it is for me about Thailand rather than somewhere like Cambodia. And I have been to Cambodia, obviously. I've been to the Philippines. I haven't been to Vietnam. But what it is with Thailand, okay, it's getting them. The rules are changing now. They're getting a little bit more kind of like the West in a lot of ways, which is a bit sad. But it's got everything going for it. You know, you've got the infrastructure, you've got the food, you've got the entertainment. It's safe, it's clean. The hospitals are good. You know, a lot of the other places they don't. You know, I'm talking about retirement, really. You know, you don't want to be in a place where the hospitals are crap and you suddenly get really seriously ill. You know, I mean that's what Thailand's got going for it. It's just so you know, the infrastructure that you know, all the everything really.
I have actually heard. I have actually heard that if you got really, really seriously ill in Cambodia and you know it was an emergency, you are actually probably more likely to be taken to Bangkok Hospital than Phnom Penh.
Yeah, just over the border.
Yeah.
So there's one for you. There's a question for you, Eddie, from Tree Town.
Eddie, is there any go-go bars in Cambodia? It's not really. I never ever come across Cambodia. I haven't actually been there for about 3 years now because of the pandemic and all of that. But there was no go-go bars. It doesn't have the same go-go and massage parlors that Thailand has. But having said that, there are a lot of lovely, lovely ladies in Cambodia. Beautiful ladies.
Let's be a little bit repetitive for the people who haven't heard it. Tell us about your experience with the bowl of noodles and the Filipino go-go bar. That's a great story.
Oh my God! That was a bit of a shock. That was, Peter. I mean, I put off going to Angeles City in the Philippines for so many years. I thought it was the closest it was the Philippines version of Pattaya. And when I first seen it, stepped out that evening, it was nothing of the sort. I mean, the go-go bars in Pattaya are absolutely magnificent. Beautiful girls, not much clothing and all the rest of it. Absolutely terrific. And I wanted to see how the Philippines could, you know, Angeles City could compare to that. And when I was on a Friday evening, and one after the other, they were bloody awful. They were awful. I went in one.
Ningers.
Go-go bar. Yeah, absolutely. I went in one go-go bar. And I walked in there, and the girls were fully clothed. They had, you know, some of them were overweight. And I walked into a go-go bar, and these girls were on the stage, just standing there motionless. I thought, what's that all about? And you know, it's well, are they going to move? They're going to start dancing. They're just going to stand there. I felt really uncomfortable. And you know, a girl came up to me and started chatting to me. She said, would you like a girl? To be honest with you, what I'd actually like is them to begin moving, just to prove that they are actually alive. You know, that was the first experience. Really, really creepy. Really, really creepy. And a couple of other go-go bars. Oh, the women were. Oh, I know it sounds. They were mingers. I thought, you know, this is not real. You can't be really serious. Some of them, they were not moving. One bar had a couple of women, overweight, pudgy women, with sort of leotards on, just standing there chatting to each other with their arms folded. You know, like Les Dawson and Roy Barrett, those ladies talking over the garden fence. And of course, the other one, she's actually not a bad-looking girl either. This one, I went in the bar, and you know, apart from the fact that they were all standing there motionless. Next minute, a delivery guy comes in and hands her a bowl of noodles, and she starts eating the bowl of noodles on the stage. I thought, oh, what the hell is this all about? It was just, I thought, this is not what I expected. So that was my first impression of the Philippines go-go.
There's a few people saying there's an echo. I don't know if it's from you or from me, but I've tried turning down my volume. I hope it's not too low, guys. Let me know. But there's quite a few people leaving a comment saying echo. Alan H says echo. Yoz Travel says echo. Cashier says echo. Now my speakers are turned away. I've brought the volume down. I don't normally echo when I do the stream by myself, so I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's from your end. Ed, are you on a laptop? Are you or?
I am on a laptop. Let me see.
Paul Owen, same feedback. Nick Reels. Guys, who's the feedback from which one of us talk?
Hello?
Feedback from Ed. Says see you London. So the only thing I can suggest, Ed, is if you turn your volume down, and I don't know if you're possible, if you're on a laptop, you can't really turn the speakers away, can you?
Yeah, no. I've just turned a couple of there's a little bit of an echo. I'm not really quite sure where that's coming from, but at least the sync is okay. I mean, it's and it was like about 7 seconds behind everyone else.
Okay, I think you've tweaked it because someone said I can't pronounce that name. When Ed talks, but better now. Yeah, I think what it is, Ed, when you're using a laptop, it's better to try and plug one of these in because your microphone and your speakers are so close together. They feed off. Because I'm speaking, I'm coming across through your speakers. Your microphone picks it up. But if people are saying it's better now, and blame it on Ed.
I see what you mean. I'm with you. I'm with you. If I turn the volume down, then obviously there's going to be less.
It's much better if you turn it. I mean, like Matthew Cartwright's just said, it's okay now. So yeah, I mean, when you have this problem, you better turn the volume right down to you can just about hear me and make out what I'm saying, rather than louder. And then that normally.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Yeah, Mario O'Hara, blame it on Ed. Thank you.
Well, somebody's hearing it from my side now. But guys, look, you're just going to have to go with it. It's not going to be a long one tonight. I get the T-shirt. It's not going to be a long one. We've done what we can. Some people are saying it's all good, but we don't want to get carried on with this. Did you ever hear that? I've told this story multiple times on the channel, Ed, and people love it. But did you ever hear me talk about the story? The guy who invited me for lunch in Pattaya, the 100 baht. The 100 baht man. Did you ever hear that story?
Didn't hear that one. No, didn't hear that.
Right. So basically, what it was, I was in Pattaya, and you know how people recognize you. They come along, they recognize you, and that's great. You say hello to them. So I had this guy. Somehow he got hold of my WhatsApp number, and he was texting me constantly. And I was on a motorbike, and I thought, well, I'll go up to the Pattaya sign and the big Buddha, all this, and I was having a nice morning ride on a motorbike, thinking, it's sunny, I'm alive. It's good to be alive. And this guy kept texting me, look, I'm in Tree Town, come and meet me, I'll buy you lunch. And he kept emphasizing, I'll buy you lunch, like that's going to entice me, like I haven't got any money, But in the end, I thought, okay, look, it's not I didn't want to meet him, I was just enjoying my time kind of solo riding the motorbike around, I was actually enjoying myself. And I thought, all right, I'll go and have lunch with this guy. Anyway, I go over to Tree Town, takes me about half an hour to find him. We go inside, I can't understand his accent anyway, I won't say where he's from. And he was a really intense guy, the way he was looking at me and stuff. And I ordered a burger and chips, and I think it was about 180 baht. And a soft drink, maybe so it was 220 baht for lunch. Now, if I invited you for lunch and the bill come, I'd say, give us that here. I'd pay it. Nice to meet you, Ed. See you next time. You know what the guy did, right? All this time, he kept saying to him, come over for lunch, come over for lunch. The bill comes. I'm expecting him to take the bill. He just sits there and does nothing. So I take the bill. He opens his wallet. He puts 100 baht on the table. He says, that's towards your lunch, right? So I says, mate, I don't need it. Put it back in your wallet. I paid my own bill and I got out of there. But people are strange, aren't they, sometimes?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. I mean, the fact is that, there's always going to be. It's like working with the public. 95% of the public are as good as gold. There's always going to be a few of them. I've had a couple of altercations with people. One fella, and he wasn't the most polite of chappy either. He says, I know you. And he was chatting to me in a bar. And then the next minute, I seen him a day later, and I didn't recognize him at first. He called me over, and then when I realized who it was, I wish I hadn't bothered, to be honest with you. And it was weird. He said, hey, give us your email. I said, well, I haven't had email. I don't really give my email out. I don't give us your phone number then. I can't remember. No, I'm not going to give my phone number out, but it's nice to meet you anyway. And then he started to tell me about this business that he had. He was starting up this business out there, and he wanted me to promote it on my channel. He wanted to advertise his business on my channel. Cheeky bugger, did I say that? I don't owe him, but he wasn't even a polite person. He thought, give me your phone number, give me your email. You can advertise my business on your channel. You cheeky bugger. And another person I didn't like, and he wasn't actually with me. I actually met up with another vlogger We won't say.
I think I know who he was.
I met up with another vlogger in Pattaya, and this guy was with him. He was a subscriber of this other, vlogger, and he recognised me. This other fella. He'd watched all of my videos, but he didn't appear to like me very, very much. And during the course of the evening, he got more and more sarcastic. He got more and more. I didn't like that video. I didn't like that one. And I thought, this guy, he doesn't seem to like me very much, but he watches all of my videos. But there was one of them I thought, you cheeky bugger. I done a review of the Bayer Garden in Pattaya, the well-known Bayer Garden. Yeah. And I had what did I have? A mixed grill, lovely stuff. And I did I can't remember what I paid for it. It might have been a tenner or whatever it was and all. Well, let's say it was £10, something like that. But he said to me, and I think he said, that video you done where you reviewed that mixed grill and said it was really great and all that. Well, I went in there because of your video, and I had that same mixed grill, and I didn't like it. So therefore, you owe me a tenner. What are you cheeky? I don't owe you nothing.
Did he actually say that?
I didn't owe you bloody nothing. He said, yeah, you do. You sod off, mate. Sod off. Yeah, there's always going to be one, isn't it? There's always going to be one or two.
I know. I want to ask you something else about that in a second. But did you ever hear the one about the 7-Eleven shirt one, the bar girl, or did you not hear that one either?
Didn't hear that one. No.
Okay, really quick, because I don't want to bore everyone, but it was a German guy in Pattaya, and he met this bar girl, and he really liked her, and he spent his 2 weeks with her. And this is a true story, it's absolutely true. That's going to come down. There we are. And this German guy, I'm not taking the mick because he's German. It could have been anybody, but this German guy said to this bar girl, she said to him, I don't want to work in the bars anymore. If you take care of me, send me a salary every month. I'll wait for you. I won't go out with anybody else. The usual sort of script, right? And so, he kind of thought, well, he said, look, I'll tell you what. He says, you can't sit at home. I'll send you a decent kind of salary, a kind of money that will take care of you and your family, but under condition that you get a proper job. And, that'll be a little bit more bonus money for you, but I don't want you sitting at home. And if you can prove to me you're in a real job, I know you're not in the bar, then that'll give me a lot more confidence, make me happy. And I'll, that'll be great. So anyway, he goes back to Germany and she said, all right, I'll get a job and I'll call you from work on my lunch break. So she's in a stock room. She's wearing a 7-Eleven shirt. She's got a baseball cap on, a badge that you can't really read, phones him on FaceTime. And she said, I got a job. I'm in 7-Eleven. I just wanted to prove it to you, all that business,
Yeah.
But I'm in the stock room. Here I am in the stock room. And it's all 7-Eleven everywhere. And he was thrilled to bits. And she'd done this several times. She'd call from the stock room and say, I'm on a break, but I shouldn't be calling. I've got to go back out just really quick. And this guy was thrilled to bits. He thought, next time I go to Pattaya, I'll go into 7-Eleven. She'll be working there. And what this girl was doing, she hadn't left the bar. She had a friend who worked in 7-Eleven. She'd give her 100 baht. They'd go in the stock room together. She'd put on her shirt. The other girl would take the shirt off, put her shirt on, put a baseball cap on, make the phone call. As soon as she hung up, she'd take the shirt off and go back to the bar and work again. Unbelievable,
bloody
right?
Crafty bitch. Crafty bitch.
Let me just say thank you to Kay Jensen there. I think, what's that, €5? Thanks for that.
Yeah.
By the way,
Peter, squeaky door time. Back in 2 minutes. Squeaky door time.
All right. What's he going to get? Right. Asif Shaykh. Well, that's one for Eddie, but I think I'll answer that there. Nice picture of the book there. Thank you, Asif, for buying that. Eddie, have you ever got pissed? We're pissed on most streams, to be honest with you. Right, I can read out a few chats while Eddie's gone. Will Richardson, do you know the story of someone taking a baby elephant into a go-go bar in Pattaya and it got stuck in the doorway? No, I haven't heard that one, but it doesn't surprise me. In the old days, they used to have elephants. There used to be a guy with a hook on a stick, and you'd see elephants. I'm no lies, guys. Honestly, they'd be at the entrance to Nana Plaza, and it's a tourist thing. You pay the guy whatever it was, and he'd give you a couple of bananas. You'd peel these bananas, and the elephant would take the banana from you. But I hate any kind of cruelty to animals. I'm a dog lover. No jokes, guys. I love animals, and I hate cruelty. And eventually the Thai government outlawed it. They said, look, you can't bring elephants into the centre of town, because it is cruel, isn't it? You know, Nana Plaza is no place for an elephant. Let's say that. Right, the Baldy Vlogger. Never seen you together. I thought you were the same person. All right. Actually, Ed and I have now done, I think we've done about 3 streams together. We did one that went on for 5 hours. We got absolutely rat-arsed. But we're both a bit tired tonight, so it'll be a normal one, hopefully. Cy London, thank you. Christ, I can hear them bottles. How many have you brought? No, I water the daisies, guys. I think Ed's got a normal toilet. How many bottles have you got there? Sounded like you brought half of Asda in.
Oh, I just dropped a can. Oh, believe me, my Asda delivery doesn't last very long.
Right, I keep going on about this beer, Ed. I'm going to show it to you because I don't know if you've tried it. It's from Aldi, right? It's called Saint Etienne. I can pronounce it now.
Saint Etienne,
yeah? It's fantastic. It's 4.8%. It tastes really nice. I used to drink the what you're drinking, the 16, the Kronenberg. This is 10 times better. I buy a case at a time from Aldi. How much do you think for 4 of them? And it's 4.8%.
Oh, I don't know, £4.
£2.99.
That sounds bloody good. Sounds bloody good to me.
Yeah, and the best thing is, normally when it's cheap, it's crap. It's better than all the other beers I've tasted. Yeah. A lot of people on this stream have moved over to this beer because I've recommended it. I'm not any backhanders or anything like that. It's just a bloody good beer. It really is.
Yeah, I don't really shop at Aldi very much. I am getting used to the Asda deliveries, but there's always things that they muck up on. There's always things that they haven't got. Oh, dreadful.
Yeah, thanks to Motel for that £5 super sticker. When I eventually meet Ed in Pattaya or wherever it is, I'll take him out for a nice meal, split these with him, buy him a few drinks. You like the food stands on the street, don't you, Ed?
Yeah, absolutely love them. My favourite.
Decent meal. Right, let's have a look. Richard Wooloo, okay. Some of these I can't read out, unfortunately. Right, I can read this one out. Paul Shackleton. Tesco's Friday, Asda tonight. Peter, you will be having your picture taken down in Kettering Oldie if you ain't careful. That's all right. I don't upset too many people. Somebody said to me, that, when I was doing these streams, I'd never been to Thailand. Some people said, Peter, you want to be careful. You give all these bar girls secrets away. They'll have your picture behind the bar, and when you're walking, you'll get the Heineken bottle on the back of the head treatment. And I was a bit nervous, to be honest with you, but everyone was really nice. And actually, some of the bar girls had actually watched the Nat and Dave cartoons. They were like, yeah, Nat, yeah, good girl, really good. Typical Thai girls, bar girls, they were like, all for Nat, All right, I'll tell you what, that was it. I was going to follow on that question. So, obviously you've been recognized a lot more than me because your channel's been going longer than me. You were going to Thailand before. You had a channel before the lockdowns, and I didn't. Yeah. Have you ever had any sort of, apart from those stories you told us, those 2 stories? Have you ever had anybody seriously kind of have a go at you, or just try to start a fight with you because they didn't like you from what you do on here? Or
no, not real. No. I haven't had any of that. I mean, I haven't had any of that. Like, I've had some really creepy people who. Not many, honestly, it's like working with the public. 95% of them are as good as gold. They are really, really, really good, good people. There's always a few. There's one of the worst ones you can meet is YouTubers, people who've got a YouTube channel. I mean, one creepy guy, I won't say which country he came from, but he recognized me, and he came up to me, he sat down, he didn't buy me a beer or nothing, but he was chatting to me at this bar, and he said, I've also got a YouTube channel, and I'm not kidding. I'll tell you this exact words. He said, I've got a YouTube channel. I've got 33 followers, not 33, 33 followers, 34 when you join, and of course you can give me a big shout out on your channel. You don't like as if I owed them. I don't bloody owe him anything. And he was a real creepy person. I don't know. Wonder you've only got 33 followers. I mean, you're a bloody creep, basically.
I'm the same as you. Let me just say thank you to 2 people. I want to just say thanks to, I'll say good evening to Capio. Nice to have you in the stream. I'll say thank you to Mark Hanley Here's my usual $5, and you are very generous, Mark. Thank you for that. Jeff says, cheers, gentlemen. Thanks for doing the stream. And like I say, I'm not just blowing wind at my backside. When I see Ed, I'll buy him a nice dinner, not noodles on the street. I'll buy him a nice dinner in Hooters or somewhere like that, or a decent hotel buffet and pay for his whole dinner.
Look forward to it.
Yeah, definitely. No, one of the things that disappoints me about having this channel is I find when just a few, not many, but most people are really nice and they just want to shake your hand and say hello and I like your video. I wasn't keen on that one. But I've been in the same situation that people will come up to you and they think because they've met you, you have to promote whatever they are selling or doing. Like if they've got a website, they're like, oh, well, you can promote my website, or well, I've just started. I've got a few subscribers, but I think, put me on that. They don't sort of say, oh, would you mind, because I'm new. I wouldn't mind like I did with Bangkok Pat. I don't know if you know Bangkok Pat. Well, when I met him, he didn't ask me anything, but I watched him and I thought his videos are bloody good. He should have more. And I've done a couple of videos with him and I got slated on his one, but that's another story. But I watched his videos. I came across him. He had about 1,600 subscribers. And I thought, this guy's videos are bloody good. They're like documentaries, and I thought he should have more than that. So I promoted him. He didn't ask me to. Then I got in contact with him. I said, look, Pat, my name's Peter. I've got a channel. Go to this time. So I've been promoting you. I don't want anything for it. I just think your videos are great. And I'd love to meet up with you in Bangkok. And we did a couple of videos together in Bangkok. And now he's at something like, I think he's up to 20,000 subscribers. He's well on his way. He does tours and things like that for people ask, because he's half Thai.
Excellent. I've seen him. Excellent.
Yeah, he's very, very good. Thanks, World Travel, for that. For a couple of beers, speak for you and Ed. Yeah, thanks a lot. Very generous. So we did a couple of videos together. He met me in Soy Cowboy in the day and he interviewed me and I interviewed him. And I put my video up with Bangkok Pat, went down a storm, great comments. But he put the video up on his channel. And because of what I talk about, similar sort of things as you do on here, Ed, we joke about, we talk about bars and bar girls. It's not serious. It's just for fun, but his videos, he's kind of a straight-laced channel, I mean, he's doing the serious documentaries and he's showing people the old city and different neighborhoods around Thailand, which is great. And we did an interview and he had to disable the comments because people were leaving things on there. I'm unsubscribing. How can you bring that Monga Peter on your channel? All he does is talk about bar girls and mongering and I'm so disappointed with you, Pat. I'll never watch another one of your videos. And I was like, Jesus. And you know what's strange about it? Some of them who wrote those comments were they actually come in here and leave comments on my videos and watch them, so you can never tell. But...
I mean, you can't please everybody. I've had people, and I haven't had that many guests, but I've had people on my channel and people have commented, the following day, I don't like that guy. You're all right, but I don't like that guy. They've said about a couple of not about you, but about other people. You can't really please everybody. I mean, let me just say, there's a guy whose name appears in a lot of the chat, and he obviously often dropped a donation as well. Really good guy. You've seen him in your chat. I've seen him in mine. And I done a video with I don't want to say him, Jim Andrews. Jim Andrews is a good guy in Wahem. And that when somebody drops a negative comment in the comment section on the live stream, YouTube often intercepts it and says, I don't like that comment. And they block that comment before you even get the chance to see it. Well, he mentioned something, a comment. And YouTube obviously jumped in and said, I don't like that comment. So they blocked it. And this guy then sent me a message to say, how dare you? I've watched your channel. I've even dropped you the odd donation because I said something nasty about that other guy. You deleted my comment. That's it. I'm never talking to you again. I didn't delete his comment. I didn't even see it. I don't know what it was. But you just got to accept. I mean, you can't please everyone. You can't please everybody. I mean, if I interviewed someone on my channel and then people were putting if they put sarcastic on, fair enough, but if they put really, really nasty comments about that person, then I would delete them. But I didn't even see this comment that this guy had made.
He is quite a good YouTuber. I'll come back on you on that one. But Capiel says Jim Andrews is a top bloke. He actually lives in Hua Hin, Jim Andrews, and he has got a good informative channel. Just on that subject that you're talking about there, people leaving funny comments. There was, you know, we've got 454 in now. On Friday, I had about the same, maybe slightly less. A few of your guys in here tonight. But there was a guy, he was leaving comments, and I just didn't see them because, you know, I remember in the early days leaving some comments on your channel, Ed, before I had a channel. I thought, why isn't he reading my comments out? Because you'd read somebody's out, and then you go to another one, and I'd look, and I think, well, he's read his out. His was the one above me, and he hasn't read mine out. But what I didn't realize before I had a YouTube channel is you don't read them. You know, you don't read them like that, do you? You'll pick one out willy-nilly. You'll talk about something, and he'll just come back. You don't know where you left off. And this guy left me some. I don't know if this is an insult or a so Peter is a godfather. I can see why Bangkok. Yeah, okay. Let me just. He's a bit of a strange guy. He's often leaves comments like that. Right. Yeah, he'd been leaving comments, and I hadn't picked up his comments, and I think he left 2 or 3, and he got so upset. This was just Friday gone. He says, "Oh, you know, I've been watching all your videos. You've been ignoring my comments," and then he ended it by saying, "Oh, don't watch this channel. It's crap. Go and watch this channel." He named another channel, and I thought, well, hang on a minute. You've been on this channel for about a year. You know, I just missed his comments. Let me just say hi to Peter Bailey. Thanks, lads. Very entertaining tonight. Here's 370 baht for the Pete and Ed lunch fund when you catch up. If it carries on like this, I'm going to have to take him to the bloody Oriental. You know, the Oriental hotel in. I heard of the Oriental. It's like a 6-star hotel, very colonial, beautiful gardens. It's not the sort of place you'll find me kipping, but
I can't wait.
Huh?
I can't wait. I can't wait.
No, yeah. You'll be waiting for me. And I'll be like, I'm stuck in traffic. Grab a burger. I'll pay for it. Right, Jay Frost. I'm really looking forward to Rise for Kicks and Thailand Bound team up. Well, look, I don't want to copy anybody else's channel, but now that I've got this GoPro, Ed, and I can attach it to a motorbike, and I do plan to do some.
They're good.
Yeah, this is the 10. It's, you know, it's no good for a static environment like this. It's an action camera. But I've got this clamp. You put that on the wing mirror. So basically, you take the wing mirror off. That goes over where the thread is, and then the GoPro sits on there, and you know, you ride around. And so, you know, I suppose some of my videos will be similar to Rise to Kicks. I'm not copying him or emulating him. It's just, you know, I'm in Thailand. I need to make videos. I'm going to carry on what I'm doing. But you know, obviously, I want to expand the channel and make it. You know, try and make it a bit more interesting.
Can I just mention about the GoPro? I got the GoPro 7. Have you ever found that, you know, a certain model is really good, and then they bring out the 8, and it doesn't get such good reviews. So I bought the GoPro 7, and I've used it quite a lot, and it is a great all round. A couple of little things about it: you'll get this knocking noise, so it helps to, you know, cushion it with some fairy things to stop the knocking noise. You know, but you can strap it to your chest. A couple of other good things about it: the stability. You won't really need any form of gimbal with it. The stability is perfect. And also, it doesn't catch the wind when you're down the beach. It doesn't catch the wind like some other cameras do. It's a good all round, but it does overheat a little bit. It has its downfalls. It does overheat a little bit if you're in a very, very hot temperature.
Yeah, Christopher Doyle, thank you for that, mate. 100 baht towards the beers. Appreciate that. Cheers. The thing with the GoPro 10, the big difference with it, see, yours doesn't have the forward-facing screen, does it? See, the 8, 9, and 10, when you turn it on, you can look through the back screen, but you don't have a forward-facing screen. On the 10...
Oh, yeah, that's right. You know, forward.
In theory, you can walk down the street filming yourself, and you can see yourself in this screen here. But you're right. People warned me about this and said, don't buy the 10 because it overheats, because it's got a new CPU processor, which is really fast. But the thing is, it's not designed to do a live stream or to tell stories. It's designed to go on a motorbike or on a selfie stick when you're going through a skate park, if you're a young man, or you're parachuting off a building. Obviously not something I do. But on a motorbike, you know, I'm planning to do the filming with this, but I'll dub over, you know. So if I ride around Hua Hin, I'll say, right, guys, I'm coming up towards the famous night market where you can get all the food in the world, you know, so it'll all be dubbed over. But
there's another thing I want to ask you about that bit, but that's the 10 version, and maybe they change it. But anything about the GoPro, great color of day vision, but not good at night. Now, have they changed that? Can you get good night vision there on the GoPro?
I don't know, but I don't intend to use it at night because all my other videos, like I've got I don't know where it is. I think I've left it in the house. I've got a Samsung 10 Plus, which is outdated now. It's about 4 years old. I'm going to upgrade. I'm just waiting for some money that somebody owes me. That will come in this week. And I'm going to get the Samsung S22. But the cameras are fantastic on Samsungs. And I don't really film at night too much. And if I do, like in Thailand, it'd be in an environment where there's plenty of lighting. Like I filmed walking from the beach to Soy 8 just for about a minute, and it came out fine. But like I said, the GoPro is not a fits all. So I intend to, when I do streams, I've got a 50-pound camera here, which does the job. My Samsung phone is great for the stories and just doing static, talking or interviews. And the GoPro is simply going to be action. I mean, it'll be out on the motorbike, selfie stick if I'm, So I think you need, you've got to have. I don't think it's a night.
Can I just tell you another thing about the GoPro? What I love about it, I have a strap which I got off another action camera. A chest strap, and you link it to your chest, and you just walk up and down with it. And you can walk around town and get really good footage with it, and the stability is pretty good. There's that knocking noise that you will get, but if you put some little fairy cushions there in the bracket, it will stop that. But it's really, really good for that. And I've got a lot of footage of various places which I've used on various videos, and no one really. I've done this in Thailand and other places. No one really has stopped me and thought, what have you got that camera on your chest for? People don't really notice it, except for one place. They noticed it. And this was about a year ago when I was in Turkey. Now, in Turkey, they have the paragliders, yeah? Pattaya area. And they use the GoPros. And so these Turks, they know what a GoPro is, you see. And the only time I've ever been confronted because I was wearing it, I was walking down Chalish Beach, which is not really the nicest beach in that region. But I was walking down there with this GoPro strapped to my chest, just filming the restaurants and the bars and the cafes and whatever. I was walking down there, and I thought, fair enough, I've got a little bit of footage, nothing in. I'm not going to really use it for much because no one's really interested in Turkey anyway. So I put away my bag, had a cup of coffee, and walked back along the beach, and again. And all of a sudden, this guy, I think he was the owner of a taxi company, this Turkish fella, started shouting and running after me. Hey, you with the camera, you filming people, what are you filming people for and all this? We've had lots of trouble here. What are you filming? I mean, the Turks know what a GoPro is because they use it. They're using it, you see. And he confronted me. And what I'd forgotten, you see, is that area of Chalish Beach, that's an area popular with the wongers. That's where all the 60-year-old women go to shack up with the young Turkish lads. And some of these women are married at home. And basically, it's like the scenario: white tie girls don't want to be caught on camera because they may have, they may have sponsors in other countries and all of that. I forgot this guy was basically accusing me of filming the wongers. These old decrepit old women who have rumpy pumpy with guys young enough to be the grandson. So I said to the guy, I calmed down. I said, I'm going to, all right, I'll delete it because it's just not an important bit of footage anyway. But he got nasty. He said, any trouble down there, and I'm going to call the police. It's going to be you. It's going to be you. I mean, so, and you know what? That's the only trouble I've ever had with the GoPro. I've never had any problems elsewhere. It's because he was basically accusing me of filming the wongers. That's basically what it was all about.
I mean, they are quite stealthy because I went down Soy Cowboy at night with a camera facing me, and then I was facing the soy, but I didn't point at any girls. But you've got this big camera on a stick, and it's so obvious. Where, like you said, the GoPro. I mean, this is actually in a cage because I want to use an external mic. I bought this because you can actually plug an external mic into it, and you can the mic sits in there because it's a big chunky thing. From £50 for the converter from GoPro. But there's a question I want to ask you here, but let me just answer Martin Blunston's question. He said, have you got the Monga Minute tonight, Pete? No, that's a Friday night thing. Sunday streams are very, very casual. I don't do any games or any videos, anything. It's just us having a chat and having a drink. We can talk about anything. Ed's here tonight, so it's an easy night for me. But all that sort of stuff I don't do. But, right, Ed, I've got a question for you, and it's a very good question. I'll read the question, then I'll ask you my question. Nick T says, Ed, whatever happened to the video with the Khmer bird? You were so pissed you didn't know if you were in Ponem, I can't pronounce it, or Sinukville. It was good. Now I remember that. She was beautiful. You're in your hotel room and you were with this really, really sexy girl in a red dress, and you were like, you know, obviously drunk, but she was kissing you on the side of the face. And do you remember her? Whatever happened to her?
Yeah, well, she was one of those, you know, beautiful young bears that you kind of build a rapport with. You know, you meet a girl in somewhere like Phnom Penh, and she's great fun, and you build a rapport. You don't fool yourself. You don't fool yourself. I don't need to go into detail about that. I'm not one of these guys who, you know, these soppy guys who you know, thinks she loves me and nobody else, and then I go back to my own country and then send her loads of money. I'm not one of those guys. I'm a bit more streetwise than that. But she was a girl that I'd known for you know, a good few years. But then, you know, things went pear shaped with travel, didn't they? So I've never managed to sit.
Definitely.
You know, and other girls as well. Other girls. I mean, Cambodia has got some wonderful ladies, and they are such good fun. And she was a girl I'd known for quite a good couple of years. She was such great fun. I don't know what happened, lost touch. You know.
Will you look her up if you ever go back there?
If I ever meet her again, absolutely. She might be, for all I know, she could be married with kids by now. You know, you have to move on. But she was great. And some of these girls, you know, you think of Cambodia. I don't know what your perception of it is. But in terms of these girls being real fun, having a great sense of humor, they will give the Thais a run for the money. I mean, yeah, they are such good fun. Those girls, they're a damn good laugh, they are. And I met some lovely. I was going to Cambodia regularly for months at a time for a good 10 years, and 10 years or more. And yeah, I had some great times there. And I will be going back there again. I will be going back.
Well, you'll probably bump into her again, hopefully. Right, before we go on, let me just say, I always like to say thank you. Let me say hi to Canary Spreads Its Wings. He's often in your stream as well, Ed. Thanks for that super sticker. And also to Michael Genius, is it? For my two favorite YouTubers for lunch. And I will buy Eddie a lunch, I promise.
Okay.
You know what, Ed, I was very, very lucky because, you know, my viewers bought me this because I just happened to mention that I'd like to buy a GoPro, and they are quite expensive. And with all the bits and everything, I think I spent about £500 with the cage. And I just said, look, guys, I'm saving up now for a GoPro. And everybody was very, very generous. And, you know, I managed to get the latest 10. So, you know, I did thank everybody a couple of times on Friday. But, you know, I don't take it for granted. You know, people are generous, aren't they? Right, now, moving on. I watched your stream when you were talking about it was a great way of putting it. What did you call it? The Gambian sausage.
Remember that? God almighty, yeah.
Right. So when you mentioned that, I thought, right, I've got to delve into this. This sounds interesting. Yeah. So I did a piece on my stream, and some of the photos that I actually pulled up, I actually managed to find a few of these, and you know, what you're saying was actually true. Look, here they are. They're out and about. Look at that. Look. You know,
dirty old trollops.
You know,
dirty old trollops.
You know, so yeah, a bit of the old Gambian sausage. There you go. What can you say? Who's that guy? Jesus.
I mean, you know, but Peter, I'm a very, very, you know, broad-minded fella. Very, very broad-minded. But I don't like hypocrisy. You see. You got to, what happened there? You know, you had a taxi advert on there. I mean, I don't like hypocrisy. If it's all right for what, I mean, some of these women, and I know this for a fact. Some of these women who will go out to Turkey and, you know, flirt, you know, and have rumpy-pumpy with the gigolos, they're probably the very same ones who will slag down fellas who go to Thailand and do, you know, similar with the ladies out there. If it's all right for one, it's all right for the other.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about the taxi picture there. I was actually turning off the Gambian sausage ones, but I actually put on that's Apple, who I normally advertise her because she looks after me when I'm there. And I said that wrong, didn't I? She looks after me. She's a regular taxi driver, but nice girl. And you know, she's always looking for a bit more business. Right. Paul Shackleton says, "Well said, Ed." Yeah, good. I want to say hi to Bob in London. I know he's watching this on the Rum and Copes. He's got a really nice couple of cars. He went to a show today. He's actually got a Lamborghini, real nice one, and he won the supercar. There was a car show today, supercars, and he won first prize for his Lamborghini. So you see, my Lamborghini's kind of outside, but Bob got the prize for that. Sent me some nice pictures. So well done to that, Bob. And I hope you're not too. You haven't drank too many of the rum and cokes. I'm on the whiskey now, so I'll probably start slurring in a minute. But like I say, it's not going to be a long one tonight, guys, because both Ed and I are quite tired. Do you find, Ed, that when you're in Thailand, it's hot, but you can deal with it? But in the UK, I find I get really tired when it's hot. I don't know. I don't know. In Thailand, you can kind of, you're hot and you can jump into the aircon, even if it's like nipping into 7-Eleven. But there's no relief from the heat. You know, when we had that 40 degrees and it's 26 today, I find it makes me really tired. Do you get that or not?
I think that what it is, with terms of being tired, it depends whether or not you have to go to work. I can handle any heat, but if I have to work in it, then it's a different kettle of fish. Working in the intense heat, whether you're driving or whether you're doing something else, that's when it's not much fun. That's when it's not much fun. I don't really have that much of a problem in the heat, but if I have to work in it, then it's a problem. Then it's
just
a problem.
Before. Yeah, absolutely. Just before you answer this one of the questions that people ask me a lot about you, and I have to be honest and say I don't know, and I'm not going to ask you here because I know it's a privacy question. But one of the questions come to me very, very often. People say, "What does Ed do for a living?" And I say, "I don't know," and I wouldn't ask him. That's something we don't talk about.
My only answer to that is it's nothing exciting, and I don't really need to do it anymore. It's not really.
I'm in the same boat as you. I probably did something very, very similar because my full-time career was the hotel industry. I retired from that, and then I did something just to keep me sort of busy a couple of hours a day, and the money was okay. And I don't have to do it now. I'm like you, and I'm probably in a very similar position to you, where I'm getting a little bit of money. People think you make thousands and thousands from YouTube. You know yourself, Ed. You don't make it's not a huge income. It's nice. It'll pay for your air ticket to Thailand. It'll get you a week in your hotel and stuff. But unless you're at the level where you have 2-3 million subscribers, which we're never going to have, it's more of a hobby more than anything. Have you ever had guys? I'll tell you what. I'll stop. I'm waffling now. Why don't you answer that one from Javier there? Javier says, Peter, can you please ask Eddie how is a life night in Ho Chi Minh City compared to Pattaya?
Well, I think first thing that I've got to mention, go-go bars. Pattaya, one of the great aspects, it's got the most wonderful, absolutely no holes barred, full frontal, lock, stock and barrel go-go bars. I don't think, between Bangkok and Pattaya, you can really, there's nowhere else in the world that have got that level of go-go bars, and they're so damn good. Now, Ho Chi Minh City doesn't have anything like that. It doesn't have the same level of go-go bars. But you've got Ho Chi Minh City. It's basically District 1, Saigon. Now, when I first went there about 20 years ago, all the action was in Phenom Glau Street, which was very, very raw-edged. And it was wonderful because, I thought this is probably what it was like in the olden days during the Vietnam War. Wonderful. I loved it. But then Bui Vien Street. And I've done a couple of videos. That's grown over the years. And the last time I seen that, it looked like bloody Las Vegas with all the lights and everything. Yeah. It's a very different sort of nightlife. But last time I was there was a few years ago, and I have done videos of it. It's terrific. I mean, Ho Chi Minh's a great night. It's a great night out. And not only that, but it's the beer it's probably more expensive in District 1 than elsewhere, but it's better value than Thailand. Absolutely. So Ho Chi Minh, go there. Love it. Brilliant.
Yeah. Checkban says, Bob, well done on the win. And somebody said earlier, pronouncing Javier's name, you pronounce it with a H. Well, I actually asked Javier about this. I said, look, your name's Javier. Should I call you Javier with a H? And Javier come back to me and said, no, call me Javier. That's what my name is. So not trying to prove you wrong. It's just I did ask him, and that's what he told me, and that's what I call him. Right, hang on. There was another one I wanted to address here, which I've probably lost. Do you get this, Ed? You see a chat and you think, I'll talk about that next, and then you lose it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's
annoying, isn't it?
I'm very forgetful.
Right, Bob says, haha, thank you, Peter. The rum is going down a real treat. Thanks for the compliments about the car. It's a nice car. I can't see I'll ever own a Lamborghini, but I might cap you up for a race for a ride around the M25. That'll be good. Right. Villa Martin, Ed is a paid for gigolo keeping the rich ladies happy. That's why he doesn't have to work anymore.
You sussed me.
You sussed him. It's right. Is it Bazzarino B? What bike have you got, Peter? I don't at the moment. I've had bikes since I was 16, motorcycles. My first bike in 1976 was a Yamaha FS1E. They used to call them fizzies. I don't know if you remember them. 50cc.
Yeah.
Went like shit off a shovel. There was no restrictions. The last couple of bikes I had the Suzuki 1400. It was black with a red stripe. It wasn't the white with the blue stripe. I had a pan-European, but I only ride them in the summer and in the evenings. And the pan-European so heavy that when the calipers stick, I couldn't move it off the stand, so I got rid of that. When I'm in Thailand, because I know you're not a bike fan, are you? You, Ed? No. Well, I think they're a great way to get around when you're in somewhere like Hua Hin, because you know yourself, the taxis are sort of few and far between. And I normally rent something like a Honda Click or a Honda Vibe for 150 baht a day. And I don't go on the main Sukhumvit road, but I just find they're great to get around. Keep low speed and just think to yourself, when you see a side road, somebody's going to come out. The worst thing is the bloody dogs that chase you, in Thailand. Those bloody dogs that sleep outside the 7-Elevens. Right. Okay. Alan Tate says, Eddie has a job that he can do whenever he feels like it. A taxi driver would fit that bill. But would that pay for his gallivanting around the globe? I'm not sure. Well, not necessarily, Alan, because the thing is, if you're a taxi driver, you're self-employed, and yes, you work your own hours, but you can't just bugger off for 3 months. I'm guessing. Let's not talk about Ed. Let's just talk about this subject of jobs that allow you to do it. Gardener, you could be a self-employed gardener, cutting old ladies' hedges and grass. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Because they don't grow in the summer. Look, Ed's laughing now. Am I touching a nerve here? But you think about it, right?
I don't know what the obsession is with people.
I'm not talking about you, Ed. But I'm just. Who was it who left the thing there? Yeah, Alan Tate. Not just a taxi driver, because you think about it, right? If you were a landscape gardener, or you felled trees, or you cut grass for little old ladies, I mean, January, February, there's no work, is there? Taxi driver, that's another one. Come on, let's get it going here, guys. What else could it be? What sort of jobs can you get away in the winter? Right. Okay. No, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I totally respect your privacy. You've said to me a long time ago, that's something I don't want to talk about. I'm just having a bit of fun now. And seriously, I don't want to know what you do, okay? Right. Paul Hoskins, 699 is my favorite. David Kiram says, Eddie, is Siam Reap the best city in Cambodia? I think he's already answered that one. Okay, I don't know if this is a joke or serious. I'll let you read it and tell it if you want to, Ed.
Paul Shafton, question for that. Ed, what's your favourite sandwich? A Thai sandwich. That's my favourite. I had one of them. Okay, I had a wonderful Thai sandwich.
Do you remember I seen you in that video where you went to Nick Dean's bar? You looked leathered in that video, absolutely leathered.
Which one was that?
That was the one with the two ladies. You sat on each side of you. The two ladies.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was in the Hacienda. Yeah, it was in the Hacienda. They pulled a fast one. And Martin there, he had a sort of smirk on his face. I thought, what's going to happen here? And next minute, two girls come and sat, either side of me. It was all good fun. But I thought, what happens here? What happens here? It was good fun anyway. Well, let me just say that Nick. I don't know if you've seen that. That was one scene, but I actually was interviewed on Nick's stream, and he done that terrific TFI Friday thing. That terrific show. They had an Elton John and it was a really, really great show. And it was great to be a part of that stream. It really, really was. Really, really was. Absolutely.
Right. Let me just say to Rob. Rob's the phone because he was in Thailand recently. He said, "I didn't know you were a taxi driver, Rob." That was a comment I was going to read, and I'll ask Ed about it. One of the comments was, there seems to be a lot of taxi drivers in Pattaya around January, February. But Rob says, as a London taxi driver, trust me, loads of us go out to Thailand, and 3 of my mates have flown out today for 2 months. I'm gutted, laugh out loud. Because Rob only went for the first time this year. But there are a lot of taxi drivers I say a lot. I mean, there are taxi drivers in January, February, March in Pattaya. But it's understandable, isn't it? Because they have, their really busy time starts at Halloween. And then they've got all the Christmas parties leading up to Christmas. Then the New Year's party. Then January, everyone's paying their credit card back. Nobody's got any money, Yeah. But people are guessing now, Ed. Look, Chief Toaster for Walker's Crisps. Come on. He's not going to tell us, but just for fun, we'll have a guessing game. Then we'll get the.
Wayne drives an ice cream van in the summer, then travels in the winter. Oh my God, you've sussed me. Yeah, I do like a bloody good 99. Absolutely.
We'll have to call you Mr. Whippy. That's your new YouTube name, Mr. Whippy.
That's got a
double meaning. It's a good name, isn't it?
I didn't know this until Margaret Thatcher died, but her parents were involved in the creation of Mr. Whippy. I mean, during these, the ceremony in the church, the vicar, priest, whatever his bloody title is, was paying tribute to Margaret Thatcher, and then he mentioned Mr. Whippy. I thought, what? What's it? Apparently, her family were involved in that. Mr. Whippy. There's a fun.
Do you like Peter Kay, the comedian?
It's some of it. Not all of it. Not all of it.
The only reason I'm asking you because he did a sketch called Ice Cream Wars, where he was going around an ice cream van. It was very, very funny. If you haven't seen it, it's not really worth getting into. But yeah, look, Ed runs a show at 10 Downing Street. He could probably do a lot better job than the bloody shower we've got in there at the moment.
Oh, God,
right. Nick T says, chances are when you're 60-ish, the parents' house has come your way. Yeah, I wish. And the pension pots have matured. Not suggesting this is Sir Edward's situation. Believe me, guys, I don't think Edward's received any payments from houses or pension pots. Same as me, actually. Working class, right, Ed?
I'm a working class. I'm a working class.
I left school at 15 and went straight into a steelworks. You know that, don't you?
Absolutely.
You know, there are no handouts in them days, right? Alan Tate, Peter, maybe Ed could give you a lift to the airport in his taxi. I don't think I'm not going to ask Ed what he does. That's private. We're just having a bit of fun here, right? Any more guesses? Wait, didn't Nat marry a taxi driver? Laugh out loud. Yeah, oh, she did. She did at the end there. Yeah. Okay. Right, let's get out of this to get another subject going. Right, breakfast news. Riots have started at Monga Parliament after the votes have been counted in the latest poll. Many Mongers are disappointed. Okay. Another one from Dutch Farang. Get these out of the way. Dutch Farang, a foreman of the Monga Party, Mongers Unite, called for a revolt. See, what a lot of people don't realise, that like people come on here and all this Monga, I'm not actually a Monger, Ed. I'm a married man, soon to be single, but I've never mongered. There's another channel that kind of takes a mickey a little bit, and they're kind of like, yeah, sure, Peter goes to Thailand for the temples and the beaches, you know.
Well, believe it or not, Peter, I mean, the idea of me being a monger, it's a bit of a myth. I mean, I've been traveling. I've never made many. I travel out to to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, many other countries for many, many years. Let me just tell you something. Amongst my traveling times, I spent 6 months traveling around South America. I've been to Machu Picchu, Argentina, Brazil, the Amazon. I've stayed in a jungle lodge in the rainforest. I've traveled through Central America. I've been to Ethiopia. Does that sound like the behavior of a monger? Not really. The mongers climb Machu Picchu. I've done that. So I'm a traveler. I like travel. I grew up always wanting to see the world. And I've seen an awful lot of, the place I always wanted to see. The idea of being a monk, I'm 60 years. I mean, come on, look at me. I'm overweight. Do I look like a bloody, some kind of Lothario? Do I look like a sexual athlete? I don't think so.
Yeah, I get it.
Ed Sweeney's 20 stone white back in England. Oh my God.
Yeah, but look what he says. He's saying the same as I'm the same as you, Ed. Exactly. And he's put you are a monger, Peter. How do you know? Did you follow me? Were you in the room next door with a glass?
Let me see, but my 20 stone wife, she doesn't like me to. She thinks other guys are going to lead me astray. She's probably all sweaty waiting in bed for me.
Bernard Manning do you like Bernard Manning?
I love him. Brilliant.
I love him as well. I'm not going to start doing Bernard Manning jokes, but I remember one he did just when I seen that picture there. Is it still there? Let me get that back up. So this is very visual, right? He says, yeah, I picked up this bird the other night. He said, I'm not saying she was fat, but I was burning my ass on the light bulb. Yeah, right. Windows open. Peter is the closet monger. No, not at all, guys. Really, I'm not honest, but believe me, not guilty, Your Honor. Let's see in the future. Terry Terry says, no, I'm not saying I've never been for a nice traditional Thai massage. I'm not denying that, of course not. But a monga, nay, says he. Right, Dave Painter. Pete is more of a monga than Eddie. Pete loves the Thai. Don't get fooled with this marriage bullshit. Well, I might not be married. I might be single and just pretending I'm married, mightn't I? You know, I might be the king of the mongers. Who knows? Right, Canary spreads his wings. I don't want to monger much past 50. Okay, right. Just trying trick questions there, Ed. Right, come on, let's have a few more questions for Ed. What's it? Ed is an underwear model. Are you an underwear model, Ed?
Oh, he's obviously seen my picture in the catalogue, hasn't he?
He has.
Have you ever seen the catalogues? You know, with those guys who wear bloody white underwear and they're looking, you know, they're pointing you know, oh my God, how awful. How terrific, though. Eddie's an international art forger. I wish I was, mate. I'd make more money that way.
Yeah, Frank Travels. Don't deny it, Peter. Be proud. I am proud, but I'm not monger. Right, Andrew Hammond. How are you doing, my man? Eddie's a secret private detective. You never know. You never know. I actually met a real private detective, an English guy in Bangkok, and he said to me, you know, most of the emails he get is a big majority of them was guys would email him, say, I'm paying my girl not to work in the bar. Here's her picture. Can you go and sit at Nana Plaza or Soy Cowboy and see if she comes to work? And I'm like, people pay you for that? I'm going to become a private detective, you know, go out and have a few beers and just sit on the entrance to Nana Plaza with a photograph. If you wanted to be really sadistic, if you had a sadistic streak, and you could actually bar find her, couldn't you? And then report back and say she definitely still at it because I bar find her. Right. Right. Okay. MD Mongo will climb a mountain if bar girls are at the top. Okay. It's very. I can't get the word. I know what I want to say. I just can't think of the word. Right. Chetbound. For me, Edge Channel is a travel channel with great commentary on the local places that he visits around the world. Absolutely. I mean, look, I don't know what my channel is yet. Edge Channel is a travel channel. You once said somebody jokingly said, why don't you take Peter with you to, I think you were in the Greek islands, and you said, I think Peter just likes to go to Thailand. And I've traveled around the world with my company that I work with. But nowadays, all those Southeast Asian countries, I've been to most of them. And for me, they don't come close to Thailand, you know. I mean, they might be close to Thailand, but Thailand's got everything that I want. So it's, you know, I'm not really a world travel channel, but I don't know what sort of a channel I am because I'm definitely not a manga channel. I just fell into this. Being stuck in the UK, I have to go with what people like.
Well, let me tell you exactly where I'm coming from, Peter. I mean, I don't make me see that I come from really quite a poor background. You know, the boys from the black stuff generation and all of that. I come from a city that was very, very depressed, and I couldn't find work, and I had to leave Liverpool, you know, to go and move south and find work because I had no money when I was a young man. I had, and I remember one day, you know, during those depressed times, and it was a really depressing time in Liverpool in the 1980s. I remember picking up a map. I don't know where I got this map out of a market. I didn't really study much at school, but I then became interested in geography and all that. And I always remember a moment when I looked at this little strip of countries between Mexico and South America, and they were called the Central American countries. And I looked at it, so that's where Nicaragua is, that's where Costa Rica is, that's where Belize is. And I looked at those countries and I thought, you know what? One of these days, I'm going to travel. As simple as that. I'm going to travel the world and I'm going to see all these countries. And, you know, all these years later, I've done all that. All those countries I just mentioned, I've been there. It was just the idea. When I was a young man with no money, the one thing I wanted to do was travel the world. It was a kind of a romantic sort of vision. And I'm still doing it. I'm still seeing new countries now. Romania. You know, I went to Crete last year for the first time. So I'm a traveler. I like travel. That's fair.
So let me ask you a double-barreled question then, okay?
Yeah.
So not including Thailand, briefly, best country in the world for you that you visited, worst country in the world, and briefly why?
Well, I must admit, a couple of countries that I grew up dreaming about visiting. One of them was Italy, simply because I watched the James Bond movies and lots of other movies on Italy, the Rome, Venice, all of these. I wanted to see that country because I thought it was amazing. And that was one of the first countries I traveled around. And it was really wonderful, you know, absolutely amazing. And another country I always wanted to visit was Brazil. And everyone always said, don't go to Brazil, 2 days and all that. But I thought, well, people live in Brazil. I've spent months traveling around Brazil. I've been Rio, the Amazon, the rainforest, absolutely awesome place. And I must admit, Brazil is a country that I would seriously consider retiring in at one point. I've lost contact with the country now, but Brazil is a awesome country, and the Brazilian people are great. They are terrific. They are such a friendly, helpful bunch of people. I'm going back about 10, 15 years now, but I went into, bars in Brazil, and some of these young Brazilian people, they were so friendly. I met a group of young people who said, come over to our table. We just want to talk with you because we want to hear the English language, and hopefully we can pick up a few things. There was Brazil is a wonderful person, a wonderful country, and it's absolutely awesome. And here's something for you. I actually went to Brazil before Michael Palin. And do you know how
really?
Michael Palin did a tour of South America? I think he went from maybe Argentina to Colombia or Peru and all that kind of stuff, the Andes. But I was actually sitting in a hotel about 12, 13 years ago. And I was watching the BBC, the BBC News channel, and I had an interview with Michael Palin. And the guy interviewing him said, Michael Palin, you've been to all of these countries around the world. I mean, is there anywhere that you would really, really, really like to go to, anywhere left? He said, yeah, I'd love to go to Brazil. I've never been there. I thought, what, Michael Palin done South America? But I didn't realize he'd done South America. But at that time, he'd never actually been to Brazil. So a couple of years later, he made a documentary series on Brazil. So I actually beat Michael Palin to Brazil.
And your worst one?
The worst one. Whoa, the worst one. Oh, Jesus Christ. I must admit, there are countries that I would not necessarily don't go there, but I didn't really have good experiences in India. I had a bit of the old Delhi belly, that was true. And what is about India? It was what is about India? It's the word for it is colourful, very, very, very colourful. But it's not really a culture that appeals to me. It looks a very colourful culture, but it didn't really appeal to me, and it didn't really ring my bell. Also, Ethiopia. That's my only experience with the African continent, and it's good in some ways, but it's rather disgusting. I mean, have you ever seen an Ethiopian toilet? I mean, you know what I'm going to say? It's like very, very third world.
Yeah. Same as a Chinese toilet, probably not now, but when I was in the 80s. A Chinese toilet. I remember going in. I mean, let's not bring the level of conversation down. But I remember I went into a Chinese toilet, and it was literally like a shed with a trough. And I went in for a pee, and there was a guy there with the trousers down to his ankles with a newspaper. He wasn't sitting on anything. He was just squatting with his newspaper, going about his business. But that wasn't a very pleasant sensation. But I'm going to mention something about Michael Palin. But before I do, Clive, McLaren F1 race, is asking you to do your Bernie Winters. And I have heard this. So let's have a quick Bernie Winters, and then we'll move on.
Okay, a background, right. Mike and Bernie Winters, the worst TV comedy act from the 1970s. They were.
What was his dog called?
What was that?
What was his dog called? That big.
Oh, dog. Snorbits, yes, Snorbits.
Oh, my God.
That's when Bernie Winters went solo, but Mike was the Mr. Lover, so Bernie was the gormless one. But Bernie has got the worst, the most bizarre catchphrase ever. His catchphrase was really a gormless catchphrase. His catchphrase was, "Eee!" That's his catchphrase. That was actually his catchphrase. And there is an episode that you can see on YouTube. Mr. Love himself, Sasha Distel, actually was in there and all that. And at the finale, when they're having a sing song, they're all doing this catch. Even Sasha Distel, oh my God, how embarrassing! How bloody!
Didn't him and his brother split, and he went off and did his own show with that dog?
That's it, yeah, with that dog Snorbits. Maybe because Mike and Bernie Winters, the gormless one. Maybe he thought, I can earn more money going solo. But honestly, many great comedy duos from the past, but they were absolutely awful. They were dreadful, absolutely dreadful.
We've both talked about TV series from the 70s. There were some very good ones, but God, was there some crap around as well in the 70s.
Yeah.
But before I get into that, I just want to, what you were saying about Michael Palin, sorry to change the subject so quick, but we'll come back to it. But I remember watching a Michael Palin documentary, and it was from the 90s, and he took a train. He was on this train traveling through China, through to Mongolia, and I can't remember exactly. I don't want to be to get the geography wrong, but he was on this long train journey, and his camera crew and him, they were obviously, it was a travel kind of program, and he had this Chinese woman with her who spoke a reasonable level of English, and when she thought the cameras were turned off, because she was very official, she wasn't working for the Chinese government or anything, she was just a translator, and on the train, you know, he'd be asking her, oh, you know, so I can't think of any of the questions, but it was a sleeper train. So then he kind of stopped presenting, the cameras apparently went off, but they didn't, and Michael Palin was there, and she was across from him, and she thought the cameras were off and nobody was listening, all that, but the guy kept the camera kind of low going at the two of them. And he said to the Chinese translator, he said, well, look, and bearing in mind, this is kind of 30 odd plus years ago. It's not now, when they had no internet really. And he said, you know, you've done a marvelous job, and, you know, you've done all this translating, and, you know, I hope if you ever come to England, I can, you know, just being polite really. And he said to her, is there anything you'd like to ask me about England? And she asked him a question. She was deadly serious. And she said, yeah, she says, can I ask you, is it true that every man in England carries an umbrella? That's what she thought. And I thought that was so, you know, so nice, you know, that, and it's the same with my wife's country, Korea. When I was there in I think it was 88, I was in South Korea working, and they all thought of us. They used to call, when she introduced me and said, oh yeah, he's from England, they'd say in English, oh, English gentleman. And I used to say, why do they keep calling me an English gentleman? Because they've got this, not now, obviously, the internet and everything, but they had this they had this thing where they thought that all English guys wore a bowler hat and had an umbrella.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of cute?
Well, that's the stereotype, isn't it? You know, the stereotype of English people. You know, be nice if they live up to that.
And I suppose really it's no different to guys who had never been out to Southeast Asia, thinking that all women wear white long dresses, straw hats, and have buffaloes next to them. You know, I mean, it's not like that, is it? Right. Okay. Let's do a couple of comments here. Right now, I am aware, Ed. Before I get into another comment, I am aware that you did say you only wanted to do about 90 minutes. I've been going for about
just going to grab a beer. Only 2 seconds.
Well, before you go.
Yeah.
He's off. Before you go.
Okay.
Go on then. Grab your beer. Well, I was going to ask
2
you.
Seconds.
He's off. He loves it, doesn't he? All right. Only in Thailand. Stopped off in Sicily on a cruise and felt like I was in a mafia movie with a shady guy in dark sunglasses and a black suit on every street corner. Never felt safe until back on the ship. I haven't been to Sicily, but where did I tell you, if somebody had to ask me 2 countries that you loved and 2 countries that you hated, my first one, I'll keep it brief. I loved Dubai, and I was in Dubai in the early 90s when it was still small. The one place I went to that I absolutely hated was Syria. It was terrible, but I'm not going to get into it here. Right. The question I was going to ask you, Ed, I am aware that you did say at the beginning of the stream before you came on that you didn't want to really do more than 90 minutes. We've been going for about
for the moment.
Well, we've been going for about 2 hours. I did about 20 minutes before you come on, so you're over that now. So I'm quite happy to go for another half an hour or so if you are. But if you, if you want
another half hour,
about
another half hour, that would be okay.
Sure. I don't want to be accused of working you to death. Right. While you're having that quick beer, let me just say, I said this at the beginning of the stream. I just want to talk about my new schedule now. Right. I put a poll out there, guys, and I said, look, do you want me to carry on doing the live streams at 9 p.m. or do you want me to bring them forward? Because, I'm not working now. And I thought when you start at 9, it kind of ends late. So I put a poll out there. There's the result of the poll. So there was 3 answers. The bottom one does not matter to me as I'm always inebriated anyway. So I translated, that means they don't care if it's 8 or 9. But if you look at the stats, 333 people voted. 21% said I like 9 p.m. as I now have a routine. And 41%, almost double, right? 8 p.m. would be better for me as it's not too late. So as of this Friday coming, guys, the streams will be 8 p.m. religiously on a Friday. And on Sunday, I don't promise to do one every Sunday, but if I do, they'll also be on 8 p.m. And the other big change is the Saturday night stories that I do. I'm not going to put them out on a Saturday morning anymore. What I'm going to do is when I finish the stream after a couple of hours on a Friday, I'm going to put the stories out there for the Saturday. But if you finish your stream and you don't feel like watching TV and you want something else to watch, then there'll be a story. Do you listen to many of the stories, Ed, or is it not something that interests you?
I've listened to quite a few of them. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's I don't know.
I know what you want to say. You want to insult me. They're a bit repetitive. That's what you wanted to say, wasn't it?
No, what it is, I mean, a lot of these guys, you know, just even the ones who are going out to Thailand for the first time, they seem to lack a little bit of common sense. I mean, we're all vulnerable, but I mean, these guys seem to walk into the most obvious situation. I mean, for me, it just comes down to never trust anyone. You know, not even a beautiful young girl.
Well, the reason I'm asking you about the stories, Ed, because I would really recommend that you this Saturday coming you listen to the story, because it's actually a fantastic story. It had me almost in tears, and just thinking about them there. What it's about it. You know, I told a story about a bar. Let me just say thank you to Jeff very, very quickly, and I'll tell you. Jeff say, here's something to go towards a beverage fund. When you meet up with Ed, meet up. I'm ringing the bell. Drinks on me. Cheers, Jeff. Appreciate it. Cheers, from me as well. Whiskey. Cheers. Thank you. Right, what the story? I normally tell 2 or 3 stories, but this Saturday coming, I've dedicated one story. Upload time's the same, but what it was a few weeks ago, I told a story about a Thai girl who'd been a freelancer in Phuket for 8 years. She met an Australian guy. He kind of fell for her. She decided she was going to start behaving herself. They're still married, been together about 12 years. They're very, very happy together. Well, it's kind of brought 1 or 2 out of the woodwork. And the story that I'm reading out on Saturday, that's already recorded. It's a girl who starts her story in Isam when she's about 17. And the story starts, she notices at Songkran, some of her school friends are coming back very well dressed, wearing gold. And the story progresses to her going down to Pattaya. And she spends 25 years plus in the bars in Pattaya. And she talks about the bad customers, the good customers, how she met her husband. She's now in England. She lives with a guy in England. She must be about 50 now. It's an eye-opener. It really is. And I think if you're one of those guys who haven't been to Thailand, or you're a bit judgmental and you kind of look down on people like this, after listening to this story, it should open your eyes. It's a very, very interesting story, and I'll be surprised if I've showed it to 2 people. You know, when they make a movie, they show it to a few people to get the reaction. I sent the link to 2 people because it's already up there, and both of them had tears in their eyes. So you know, it's a very, very good story. So Ed, if you're about, it's actually called Pattaya, a bar girl's story. It's very good, very good. Now that's this Saturday.
I'll definitely look out for that one.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Tony West. Jeff is a legend. Such a great guy, and even funnier in person. Jeff, which Jeff is that? Do you know who
he just gave a super chat.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, blimey, because I went off there. Yeah, Jeff say, yeah, sorry, Jeff. Yeah, you did. I was trying to think of a YouTube channel. Right, and you are a member as well, Jeff. Oh, sorry about that. Right, David Kiernan, is it? Peter, I much prefer the 9 p.m. time. Don't fix it if it's not broke, mate. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I put a poll out there and double this. I mean, if it was kind of like 80, 90, 100, then yeah, I'd agree with you. But the thing is...
Can I just mention something, Peter, about you know, about the 9 p.m. as opposed to the 8 p.m. Don't forget, you are now coming towards the winter time. The dark nights are drawing in, and pretty soon it's going to be dark at 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. is going to be night time. So there's something about the light. I don't like the light nights.
No,
I mean, personally, any kind of, you know, watching a movie or watching a live stream job light night, I don't like, because you can still see the light coming in through the curtains and all that. But don't forget, I mean, the nights are drawing in now, so 8 o'clock will be night time, so it's probably a good time to start. Now, there's something about as you go towards the winter.
Yeah, and the other thing is that sometimes when I do streams, I get carried away. I'm going to try and keep them to about 2 hours, but like I said tonight to myself, it's going to be a maximum 2 hours, but probably going to be 2.5. The other thing is, if I start at 9 and I go on for 3 hours, and sometimes I do, and the thing is, I finish, and the next day I'm absolutely shattered, because don't forget my age. I'm fairly fit. I'm drinking whiskey. I'm drinking beer. I'm getting into it with everybody. We've still got over 400 in, and sometimes I find it very difficult to turn off. And when you start at 9, that's quite late. I know you like to do real late ones, but for me, if I can start at 8 and finish at 10, 10:30, then you know I can go to bed at a reasonable time, and hopefully I don't ruin the next day. But I agree with what you said. You know, what I notice is this time of the year, the viewing numbers are down compared to winter because it gets dark at 3:30. It's raining. It's miserable. People are thinking about their trips they've had to Thailand. They want to get back into a community and you know, talking about it. And yeah, I mean, I think 8 o'clock's reasonable. That's what people have voted for. So there you go. Right, MD, Ed is making his own stories. Yeah, he hasn't sent me one yet, but you never know. Okay, let's get down to some of the later comments. And if you've got any questions for Ed, feel free. Yeah, Danish Bacon says, I think Ed should ready the stories one day. Okay, have you got a story you can send us, Ed, anonymously?
It's a story. I'm not offhand. I can't really think. To be honest with you, I've had never had any really bad experiences or any, you know, not really any bad experiences to really talk about. I've always managed to avoid them. Yeah,
Pete, have you had any bad experience in any bad experiences in Thailand throughout the years? Has anything kind of stuck out as thinking, you know, that was, you know, I learned from that? Or
really, absolutely, you'd be surprised how few. Not really, and that's why when Peter, do you know what? My traveling, I'm bearing in mind I've traveled around South America and Central America. I've never really had a serious problem, and yet I hear guys who have been out there and they've lasted about 5 minutes before they've had their luggage robbed or they've been drugged or whatever. I don't know how the hell they do it. I think common sense and, you know, never trust anybody comes into it. Even in South America, you know, people were warning me, don't go to Bolivia. I know someone who had his luggage robbed 6 times when he's Bolivia. Well, I traveled around Bolivia. I never had my luggage robbed once. So, you know,
you've got nothing in it. You've probably got nothing in there anyway, Ed.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Stuart Marston, 899. A couple of Leos for you both in Thailand later this year. Both my favourite channels on one great stream. Cheers, fella. Well, I've been trying to get Ed on for a long time. He's a bit hard to get onto the stream. I think we've done 3 now, haven't we?
Something like that, yeah, something like that.
I mean, people still talk about that 5-hour stream. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like being on your streams, Peter, because you're the man here, and it's your stream, so you do all the hard work. I just sit here having a drink.
Well, I have said to you is it's good for me as well because I can do the same. When you've got to constantly talk, you've got to stay on the ball. But when you talk for a while, I can get my beers and look over here, and you know, so it's quite pleasant. Stinger says, Eddie, have you been to India? Well, he has, because he just mentioned when he was in India. Yeah. I actually worked in India for a year in that, you know, that hotel they made a movie about, the Taj Mahal Hotel. I actually worked in that hotel for a year. You know, if I'd been there when that happened, I probably wouldn't be here now.
But funny enough, Peter, I actually stood in front of that hotel about a month or so before that happened. That terrible, dreadful event happened. You know, they were aiming for tourists as well, weren't they? Really?
I ran a nightclub. I was in food and beverage, and I ran a nightclub in the Taj Mahal Hotel in Bombay. They call it Mumbai now. It was called the 1900s. And I didn't realize my wife, they've got a Chinese restaurant. And because my wife's from South Korea, rather than just stay sitting in the room waiting for me, they said to me, look, do you want to, we can't pay her too much, but we'll give her a Chinese dress. And when people came, she'd have a menu and walk them to the table, give them the menu. And that was a job done. And it kept her busy. And they gave her a few rupees. And she was happy. And, you know, I ran that nightclub 1900s. But I didn't realize until I left that the famous Indian people that used to come into that hotel and into the nightclub. I mean, there's a massive movie star, probably pronounced his name wrong, called Amitabh Bachchan. I know I've said it wrong. But, you know, his son, who was 17, was there. She married Miss Universe. I think her name was Sawani or Shawana, something like that. You know, we had the VTV, which is equivalent to MTV. Tata, who make all the buses, you know, the double-decker buses like the UK. They did all the fashion shows. And it wasn't until I left that I heard about these people. And I met them all, you know, the Miss World. When I say I met them, they were, you know, in the same room as me. They didn't come up to me and say, oh, yeah, hi, you're Peter from England. You know, what's your room number sort of thing. Just, you know, I mean, you know, it was a real high society crowd. And I didn't realize, but I had a good time in India. I really did. Let me just say, here's a question for you, Ed. Geezers, this is a guy in North London, right? He says, How did you find Romania? I've been twice with my girlfriend then, and it was a wonderful country. What did you think of it, Ed?
Well, it's probably better if you've been there with your girlfriend and travel around. That's probably the way to do it. I went there as a solo traveler. It's not an ideal place for a guy my age solo traveling, but it was a good travel experience. I must admit, my favorite part were those Transylvanian towns that I visited, Brasov and Sibiu. They were absolutely stunning, and they were lovely, lovely stuff. And the good thing about it, it's still good value in comparison to other European countries, and also the trains are very, very good there. It's a good system of trains. It's well worth a visit. Well worth a visit.
I did watch the video where you were in Count Dracula's castle.
Yeah.
I thought I was expecting a Romanian. I was expecting a Romanian bargo to come out with a cape and bite you in the neck, you know.
Yeah.
But it never happened.
I would have liked that.
Right, let me just. Yeah, I bet. Let me just answer this. I think it says Zetin. Good day, Peter and Ed. What's the easiest way to get from Bangkok to Pattaya? Well, it depends how much you want to spend. I'll answer this one. I haven't answered any tonight. Right, there's a number of ways you can get down there. You can get a private taxi, which isn't overly expensive, or you can get one of these Toyota minibuses, which you kind of take. It's a white knuckle ride actually, or you can take the blue bus. I think it costs about 180 baht. What would you say, Ed? How do you get down from Bangkok?
Well, if you arrive at Savannah Bhumi Airport and you don't mind waiting maybe an hour or whatever, you go downstairs, don't you? And you can get that bus, which is about it's about that 180 baht. It's something like that. Very, very good value. It's just a few quid, and it will get you to Pattaya. But when it drops you off in Pattaya, you would then have to get a tuk-tuk or a jeep or whatever to get to your hotel. That bus will not drop you off directly to your hotel. Whereas if you don't want to hang around and you just want to get a taxi straight there, I wouldn't get an airport taxi because they'll be a lot more expensive. But there's other ways. If you're in, I'm assuming he means the airport, but it'd be pre-boosted taxi like the one that you just advertised, Peter. What are you talking about?
Apple, I'll put her up now. Look. If you guys, if you want a taxi, Apple's great. She speaks a bit of English. She won't rip you off. That's her new taxi. That's her line ID. Say you're on my channel. She'll look after you. She's great. And I'm not getting any commission, guys. I just like to help people. I'm meeting up with Andrew Hammond. I don't know if you know I've got a book out, Ed, or not. I'm not going to plug it. I don't need to plug it. I'll just put it up here for a second. Yeah, go on. I'll plug it. There you go.
Let's see.
Yeah. So there's going to be a few volumes, but there's my book anyway. So I'm too thick to kind of bring out a book by myself. So Andrew Hammond, who is now a friend of mine, he has his own book called what's his book called? Get Me Out of Here by Andrew Hammond. Very good book. He's like you. He's traveled everywhere. He's done the Siberian Railway. He's just come back from Turkey. Actually, he's been to Pattaya, but he's very good. But the reason I'm talking about this, why am I talking about this? Christ, my memory's getting really bad now. I forgot what I was talking about. It's gone. What was I talking about, Ed? I forgot.
You were talking about your book.
No, before that.
We were talking about taxis to Bangkok. From Bangkok.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say to you. Right. It's terrible, isn't it? Really bad. Worries me. So I'm meeting up with Andrew because he's out there the same time as me. And one thing I've never done, and Andrew said to me, why don't we do it? I'm going to take the train from Bangkok to Hua Hin because this is crazy. If you go in a car to Hua Hin, you're talking 3.5 hours. If you take the train, it's 5 hours. It's a real milk run.
Yeah,
no aircon.
I noticed that. Yeah, the train takes longer. Yeah.
Well, it's a milk run. There's no air conditioning. The windows are down. It's it's going to be interesting seeing the Thai countryside from a train. I'm not in a hurry, but I tell you where was a good place to visit. I don't know if you've been there. Have you been to the bridge on the River Kwai in Kanchanaburi?
I've never made it there. Actually, I've never actually made it to that one.
Well, I tell you what, it's a great place to go because you can actually walk on the bridge, and they've got platforms where I've stood on the bridge, and the train slows right down because they know there's tourists, and it's literally like 1.5 feet away from you. This train going by. But what a lot of people don't know is if you ever go to the bridge on the River Kwai, about 70 miles away is Hellfire Pass, where they actually cut through the mountain. That's fantastic. And I was very lucky. I went there with my friend Simon during COVID. And normally you've got coach loads of Japanese, you've got coach load of Europeans, Germans, English, and it's like any tourist attraction. It's packed. People are selling trinkets. We went there during COVID. There was no one there, Ed. We went through Hellfire Pass.
Really?
It was empty. You see the videos on the channel. I think we met one Thai guy with his girlfriend. Amazing. It was so atmospheric because there were no tourists there. They've got a very good Australian museum there, but that was actually closed. But we could still go to Hellfire Pass. And they cut through the mountains. If you see it, it's unbelievable. They say there was one dead POW for every sleeper that was laid. It's very, very good. Worth going there if you ever get a chance. Some good bars there as well in Canterbury. Some very good bars, yeah. Right, we've still got over 400 in. So let's who we got now? Like only in Thailand, Mark Hanley had a fight with a taxi. Had a fight with a taxi. Not good. Had a fight with a taxi driver once. Wouldn't pay him the 500 baht that he wanted for a 100 baht journey. He even had the meter on. Grab seems to, Grab and Bolt are great. Do you use them, Ed? The app.
I used Bolt for a couple of times early this year. But if you arrive at the airport in Savannah Boom, we want to go to Pattaya, I'm not sure that Bolt is available then. It didn't seem that way to me. But they're very hit and miss, Bolt. One of them, they just didn't turn up. They just simply didn't turn up.
I'm a big fan of Grab taxis because they're very, very good. You just go on there. You don't have to put your location because they can see it. And they always turn up. Sometimes they're in a Honda Civic. Sometimes they're in a car like Apple's got. Yeah, but I find them very, very reliable. But what's great about them now is I remember I had a room. I won't say an apartment. I had a room just off Soy. I was in Soy 38, but it was kind of off Soy 38. And when you came out at night, there was no motorbikes, no taxis. You had to walk a long way to the main road to get a taxi. Yeah. And that used to when I moved to Thailand now, what would in the past put you off looking for an apartment? You can find some good cheap apartments deep into Soys. I won't tell you the Soy where I'm looking at because there won't be any there by the time I get there. But the great thing about Grab now, you can go to a very long Soy, like Soy 23, for instance, where just right at the petrol station where Soy Cowboy is. Very, very long, and you come out at night and there's nothing there. But you go on to Grab, it's not a problem anymore. So I think Grab are brilliant, and you see the price you're going to pay. They don't rip you off. I always give them a tip anyway. Are you a big tipper or not, Ed?
I always give them a tip. Yeah, I do give a tip. Yeah, I'm a tip.
Oh, yeah, you give them a tip. Don't work on Sundays.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Tony West, David Harburg, lookalike Russell. Okay. People talking to each other. Daniel Peters, I had Ubers not turning up in Manchester last week. I live in such a small market town. We don't have Uber here. We've got the regular taxis. I tried taxi driving, because I was bored and I thought, well, what should I do? And I thought, well, I'll drive. I went to the council and I got a license. You can get private hire or a Hackney. And I thought, I want to be with the big boys. I want to get a Hackney license. And I know the area. And when you go for a Hackney driving license, the difference between a private hire and a Hackney, a private hire, they ask you stupid questions. Somebody gives you a £20 note and the fare's £3. How much do you give them back? Or, you drop somebody off in the marketplace and somebody comes up to you and they want to go to the railway station. What do you do? Well, obviously private hire, you can't pick up on the street. But the Hackney test is quite in depth. They'll say you've just picked someone up at the railway station and they want to go here. How do you get there? You've got to say, like, go down this street, turn down that street, and name them all. But I got through it and I got myself a Hackney license. I did it for 2 weekends. I hated it. The driving was okay, but the people you pick up when they've had alcohol, Jesus, it was one of the worst things I've ever done. And I wouldn't do it again. Money was very good. Money was real good. I can understand these guys going to Pattaya for 2 or 3 months. But, I tried it for a couple of weekends. I went out at 6 o'clock till about 4 in the morning. And I made good money, but Jesus, people were pissed. They were verbally abusing me. Sometimes I was sick, kicking the taxi. It wasn't for me, No,
not for me either.
Right. Daniel Peters, is it? At least with Grab a Bolt, you don't have the hassle of trying to get the driver to turn on. And that's the best thing about it, You know what it's like. You jump in a taxi and you say, Soy Cowboy, or you say it in Thai to me, Soy Yisip Sam, so you try to let him know I'm not a tourist, right? Or I am, but I'm pretending not to be. I speak a little bit of Thai. And then, he's like 200 baht Songroy. And you're like, no, meter. Yeah. And, he's like, off and jump in the next one. And he does the same thing.
Well, funny enough, when I was in Romania, I mean, the thing, even Romanian people told me this, watch out for the taxi drivers, they rip you off. What exactly are you going to rip you off? I actually found that the taxi drivers in Romania were okay. They were okay. Some of them will try and pull a fast one on you, but it's not a lot of money. Their taxis were very, very big. And at the end of the day, just look at the cost of fuel nowadays. And also, if something goes wrong with your car, you got to take it to the mechanics, cost you an arm and a leg. These guys are going to make a living, so I found they were okay. As long as you don't give them the chance, they'll be all right.
Poor old Dutch Wrangler. His KFC didn't turn up. Probably did him a favor, actually.
Oh my God.
Right, Mark Saunders. Hi, Peter. Good stream. So does the Grab taxi service that you use, can you pay cash or come out of your account? So really what you do with Grab, it's more of an account thing. So let me give you a top tip here. I've mentioned this before, right? If you don't want to, you have to use your debit card, your credit card, debit card, say, right? So if you don't want to use your main debit card, Wise, who used to be TransferWise, they do a debit card, actual physical. I should have brought it in here to show you. I keep saying I will. But how it works, if you got Wise are the cheapest way to send money to Thailand, but you can get a Wise debit card. And how it works is when they send you the card, you go into your Wise account and maybe put £1,000 on it or £500, whatever you want. And I use it only as a backup. So what will happen is if I go on to Grab for it. So when I had COVID, I used to order pizza and chicken and all sorts, and they'd hang it on the back of the door, and I'd pay for it on a card. Well, I used my Wise card because I'd loaded it up with the money already. So if you want to load up £300, 500,000, whatever. So if you want to use Grab or pay for hotels and you're worried about your card being cloned or something like that, use a Wise card and they'll just debit what you've loaded onto it. But generally speaking, you can't really pay cash. You'll pay cash when you, let me rewind. In the taxi, you can pay cash, because what happens, there's a map. So it was, say I'm staying in Soi 4, for instance, and I want to go to the MBK Centre. So I'll go on there. It knows where I am. It will say, what's your destination? And I'll put MBK Centre. Okay. So then it says, right, we're looking to see which taxis are nearby. Confirm your booking. It's going to cost you, for instance, they give you a fixed price. It's going to cost you 70 baht. Yep. Happy with that. Bang. And then it will say, we are now looking for drivers in your area. And sometimes if you're in like when I went to visit Simon, they don't want to go out there because it's so far, we haven't got any drivers in your area. And then I do it again and again and again. And eventually I get somebody. But anywhere central around Bangkok, you're fine. And it'll say, driver Kun, whatever, is on his way. He's in a Honda Civic and here's his registration number. You go on the map and you can see where he is. You can follow him up Sukhumvit into the Soi, and he'll come and there's his registration. You get in. He'll confirm who you are, take you to the MBK Centre, and he won't try to rip you off. It's 70 baht. I'll give him 100 baht. Thank you very much, mate. And off I go. He's happy. He's got 30 baht tip. I'm happy. I only paid 70 baht plus the tip. And it's brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah. That sounds fine. I mean, one of the things about, can I just add? I mean, I use both taxis a few times, but I won't use my credit card because one of them just didn't turn up. He picked somebody else up by mistake. And I even had it on my phone. You are now in your taxi. You're going here. No, I'm bloody not. He's picked someone else up by mistake. Yeah.
I had my card ripped off in a hotel. I'm not going to tell you which hotel it is because it's unfair. I honestly don't think it was I never use a debit card in Thailand. Never. It's always cash. Cash is king. And I had to use my debit card one time, and I was staying in a hotel on Soi 4. I won't. If you ask me on a phone call one day, I'll tell you, but I'm not going to mention it on a stream. Yeah. And I don't think it was anything to do with the hotel. I think I know what they did. They put a card reader on the swipe card. It was in the days you swipe the card. Yeah. And I got back and my credit card statement was £2,000 that I hadn't spent. I looked at the transaction. Jesus. It was like H. Samuel, the jewelers. It was all local shops, but high-end stuff, £200-300. And I wrote to the bank and said, look, this wasn't me. And they said, okay, hang on, we'll do an investigation. Took them about 2 weeks. They must have got CCTV and stuff like that. They knew it wasn't me. And they put the money back in my bank. They were very good. It was Lloyd's. I was very happy with them. I'm still with Lloyd's today because of that. And but I personally wouldn't use a debit card in a hotel in Thailand.
I wouldn't use a credit card, but a debit card's a no. I wouldn't use that. Definitely not.
Yeah,
definitely
much safer. Yeah. Only in Thailand. Thanks to your advice, Peter and Wise. I watched a video about them yesterday, and they are 19 times less expensive than paying with PayPal. We'll be getting one before my next trip. And as long as your credit's okay, it's really easy to get one. And I don't think your credit has to be that great anyway, because you can't use it. It's not a credit card. You have to put the money on. I think at the moment I've got £300 on mine. I'll up that to £1,000 only because if I lose my regular, I've got a Halifax account, I've got a Lloyd's account, and I've now got my emergency Wise card. And it's just for the sake of, I don't take them all out, but if I lose one, you know, you could run out of money and you put your card in the machine and it's withheld this card because whatever, then you're in the shit, right? I wouldn't be, because I've got friends in Thailand who could help me out and I could send them the money. But it's just good to have that. It's a good feeling to have that safety net, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Have you got a Wise card, Ed?
Well, no, I haven't. No, I haven't got a Wise card. No,
You should look into that. There's a link in there. I've got a link in the description if you're interested. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. We're nearly there, I think, Ed. We're nearly there. It's been a good stream. We've still got over 400 in. So let's see if we can find a few more serious questions here for Ed. Right. Cy London, never share a taxi with strangers in Thailand. If police stop you or found drugs on the stranger you're in. I never thought about that. That's quite a good point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. I tell you what, when I was traveling through South America, I've seen that come before. When I was traveling through South America, I came I went all the way from Brazil, Argentina, right through Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador. And finally, my final country was the big bad Colombia, where you've heard so much about. And I was getting a taxi towards the border of Colombia, crossing over from Ecuador into Colombia. And I got a taxi, and I negotiated the fare. It seemed fair enough, and so I actually got to go out to the border of Colombia in this taxi. In fact, as I recall, he might have even been going over the border. I can't remember. I was going to go out to the border of Colombia in this taxi, and then next minute, a couple of I think they were Japanese lads came up to me in a taxi. We share your taxi. We share your taxi. I said, no, this is my taxi. I'm taking this taxi to the. But obviously, I'm a bit nervous because drugs, all this kind of stuff. And no, we share your taxi. We cut costs. We did. No, you don't. This is my taxi, and no one is getting in here. And no, they may just been tight, and he wanted to save a couple of dollars. But I thought, I'm not going to take the risk. I was nervous crossing the border into Colombia, so. At least if you're alone, at least you know where you are. You know what I mean? So
yeah, the last trip when I was in Bangkok for the first time ever, I actually got stopped by the police. I was in a taxi that I caught at Pat Pong, and I don't know if you know, if you're going to Nana, I was staying in Soi 4 at the time. So the way they go they go under that Dutch friendship bridge, and then they take Rama 4, and then they take the cut through road between Rama 4 and Sukhumvit, turn left onto Sukhumvit, then up to Soi 4. And I forget the name of the road, but the road that links Rama 4 with Sukhumvit, the cones were then, in we went, and I had a vape on me with some liquid, and I didn't want them to find this, so I stuffed the liquid of the vape down the back of the seat. I got out, and they searched me, and obviously they were looking for drugs, because some guys use drugs, right? And he said to me, the taxi man said to me, oh, you take drugs? And I said, no, I don't take drugs, old man, good guy and all that. And they were fine. And I shook their hand afterwards. Luckily, they searched the taxi, but they didn't find the vape. And but it just shows you could be out on an innocent night out, having a good night. Police stop you, and before you know it, you're banged up. Johnny Red says, why bother getting a taxi from Nana Plaza to Cowboy? Just have a nice stroll and stop at Therme on the way. I'll tell you why, Johnny. I love the walk from Soi Cowboy to Soi 4. And my hotel is always at the end. I call it the walk of shame, because when you go down Soi 4 after sort of 2-3 in the morning, you get everything, all the night crawlers come out of the gateways further down, everything. And but the reason I don't like to walk there is because it's very, very hot in the evenings as well. And you've had a nice shower, you're ready for a good evening's entertainment. Well, by the time you get to Soi Cowboy, you're dripping, and you go into a go-go bar, and you cool off and you stop dripping, but I feel dirty then, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I like to get in an air-conditioned taxi or on the back of a bike that's going to take 5 minutes. I go to Cowboy, hit Tilak Bar, somewhere like that. I'm nice and comfortable. But at the end of the night, if I finish in Cowboy and I've had my skin filled, then what I do, I really enjoy the walk from Soi Cowboy to Nana, Soi 4, because again, on Sukhumvit, you meet all sorts of characters. You can stop and have a drink on the way, and you pass Therme, with everything that goes on outside there. And yeah, it's good, but not on the way.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, we'll do a couple more of these, and I think we'll call it a night, Ed. It's been 2.5 hours. It's been a good stream. Oh, hang on, let me just get rid of
you've got the love chat.
It's actually a bot. It's actually a bot. I got this on Friday terribly. It kept coming up again and again and again, and it was cryptocurrency. Capio, great show. Enjoying listening in. Early start for me. Good night. Okay, thanks, Capio. If you're still there, thanks. What it is, it's a bot. It's a computer-generated system, and they just go onto lots of YouTube channels. And when you block them, they come up with another username. It's very, very clever stuff. You can't. I haven't got any moderators in tonight. It hasn't been too bad, considering it's me and you on. Right. Tony West says Pete knows Nick Dean and Brian Flowers. Hopefully their reputation. Well, okay, we won't go there. I watch Brian Flowers. He's a good guy. I like Brian Flowers. Nick Dean's a good guy as well. He never replies to me when I send him Facebook messages, but I don't think he knows who I am. Let's have a look. Right, Dutch Frank, is the website good though? Not sure which one you mean. My website. Right, yeah, we're there now. That's probably the end of the comments. So, yeah, Ed, thank you very much for coming on the stream. It's always hard work getting you on here, but it's always fun. It's about half the time we did the last time. Let's advertise your...
You know, time passes quickly. Time passes quickly.
It's like the message I sent to you on Facebook today. When there's two of you doing it, it's very much more relaxed, because when you're on your own, you've got to be on the ball all the time. But when there's two of you and the other person is talking, it gives you time to, you know, pour your beer or go to the toilet and everything. And yeah, I enjoy it. I just seen an interesting one there. We nearly got away there. Let me just write that. Right, MD, let me just tell you quickly. You said, Peter, I need a good hotel near Therme. Please advise. Above Therme, they've got a hotel. Just type into Google, hotel above Therme. You'll get the name of it. I can't remember off the top of my head. Christopher Walker, great to see you, Steady Eddie, back in the seat. Yeah. What? I don't count tonight or what? Baz Wookie, Peter, the train from Bangkok to Huen is slow, but a lovely trip if you're not in a rush. Well, I'm not in a rush, and that's why I want to do it. Okay, guys. No, hang on, I didn't want... There was another one there. Right, excellent chant and banter. Right, thank you, Clive. So let me advertise your channel a little bit. We all know Ed Sweeney, but you've got Eddie Steady Live. That is your live streams. You're on quite a bit. When are you next? When are you next on for a? When are you next?
I'll probably do 10 o'clock on Monday. 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I don't know what we'll talk about. Maybe the political situation, some kind of rubbish like that. The good thing is that channel, because it's a small channel, there's no pressure, and you know, I can talk about whatever, you know, absolutely whatever.
I was getting a bit nervous. I was a bit nervous on Friday because I was preparing for my stream, getting all ready. It was about 5 to 9. I thought, bloody hell, Eddie's still going. And I was watching you, and I thought, I hope he doesn't go into, you know, because we would have been competing with each other. And I thought, well, that's the worst thing that could happen, you know. But fair play to you. You did say, oh, Peter will be on soon. And you knocked it on the head. Right, just before we go, A then says, how do you pronounce that? Okay, MD, have a look at that. I can't pronounce it, but that's the hotel that's above Therme, he thinks. Yeah, and I think it's right. Okay, any more? No, I think that's it. I'm going to put my finishing. Let me just get rid of that.
Okay, you can log me out, and then you can say good night to all the chappies. That's not a bad way of doing it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I think I've said good night to everybody already. I'm gonna knock it on the head. It's been 2 hours 40 minutes. I'm back on Friday, guys, at 8 p.m. And Ed is on at 10 p.m. Eddie Steady 10 p.m. tomorrow. Eddie Steady Live, right?
Absolutely, Steady Live.
That's it. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on Friday. It's been a good night. Thanks to all the super chats. 2.5 hours. We managed to keep it shorter than normal. And I'll probably be on Ed's channel tomorrow. Hopefully he won't block me with some comments. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
All right,
cheers,
night,
guys. Everyone.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you, Ed. Good night, guys.
Okay.